So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the.
All right, welcome back, guys. Hope y'all are having a good Friday. Welcome, Tony Denaro Late Night Stock Chat. Friday, February, what is today? 17th already? Holy shit, where is this year going? Juicy, what's up? Doc Zeno, Yuka, Fly Free, good evening. Sergeant Beef, what up? Golden J, good evening. Steve, Punchy, JT, Michael, Captain Arma, We Relax Nation, what's up? Oh, we already got a troll in the house. Goat, what's up? Mike, good evening. Danny, Broke Ape, Sufyan, what's going on? Hope you guys got your drinks poured. It is Friday night on a 3-day weekend. Quick reminder, if you're not in the US or if you've just been not paying attention, the markets are closed on Monday for a federal holiday in the US. So go out and do something fun this weekend. Go see a movie. I heard there's a couple good ones out. See Win, good evening. All right, people are already throwing torches. Oh no, already throwing torches. Apple Man, what's up? Not a 3-day weekend for Charismo. Sorry to hear that, amigo. Some of us work 7 days a week. I got you. I'm going to be working all 3 days on stuff for you guys. So I put a post on the community tab and in the Discord both. If you guys have questions, topics, it doesn't matter the ticker. This is not a one ticker channel, but if you have things that you want a seasoned and reasoned viewpoint on, no FUD, no clickbait, drop it on that community tab. Community tab is on YouTube. You got to click on it. You got to be on a phone or a desktop. I don't think you can see it from an iPad. Smooth Operator, what's going on? Or you know, if you're watching this on replay, you can drop it in the comments of this video later tonight or tomorrow. Is Grandpa in the house? Or is Yuka messing? Oh, there he is. What's up, Grandpa? Food Dog, what's going on? Sergeant Beef says, tell the shills to go fuck your mother. Go fuck your mother. All of you shills and trolls, crybabies. Hashtag no crybabies. Yeah, do we still have that? We sure do. Look at this. No crybabies, guys. Nobody told you how much to invest. Nobody told you when to buy. Nobody told you when to sell or not sell. If you're not happy with any investment that you have, don't blame YouTube. Don't blame Twitter. Don't blame the CEO. Blame the person in the mirror and learn from that and move on. There's lots of opportunities to make money in the stock market. Everybody's gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine, especially if you avoid the clickbait channels, the drama, the FUD, the nonsense, people hyping you up on stocks with no, with no income. I see people hyping stocks with no income. I see people hyping stocks like Bed Bath & Beyond right now that's about to dilute the float 9 times. And it's been losing more and more money every year for the last 2 or 3 years. They're about to shut a shit ton of stores. I've seen videos online. I'm not laughing at Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm laughing at the people pumping that right now. Like, okay, if you want to gamble, hey, my hat's off to you. But just recognize it for what it is. Don't come back and blame that YouTube pumper later. It's your job to do the due diligence, guys, to read the financials, understand what's going on there, sort out the nonsense on Reddit. These are not financial masters on Reddit. It's people writing stories. You want to believe it? again, that's your choice, but don't go back and blame Reddit or someone on YouTube later that you believe that shit. Yuka says the man in the mirror talks back. I don't like that. Yeah. Or he hides his head in the shame sometimes. I didn't do a whole lot of trading this week. It was, it was a pretty nasty week in the markets. I spent a lot of time doing research, watching the community sentiment in a variety of different plays. That is, studying how other people are feeling can help you get a sense if you can get an edge on a certain play. So in your free time, if you're just sitting around, instead of playing games or doing whatever, go read some filings. There are websites that can teach you how to read a financial statement for 100% for free. And you don't need to become an accountant. Sorry, Sufyan. No slight to Sufyan. He is a certified CPA, a great one. But you should at least have a working knowledge of what a balance sheet is, what a financial statement is, what an income statement is, how the cash flow statement works. At a very minimum, you should be able to identify income and expenses on an income statement and assets and liabilities on a balance sheet. You need to look at filings to see, are there share offerings out there? And if you're in a stock, you should keep up with that stuff every day, really, every day. Unless it's a long-term hold. If you're holding it for 10 years, if you're a long-term believer in Tesla, you might not want to go look up SEC filings on a daily basis. I get it. Vile Kyle says, do I know any realtors in Austin? I know a few. Haven't been working with any recently. I don't even know if they're still working. If you need some recommendations, shoot me a DM on Twitter. Jack says he knows some Austin realtors. There is another resource for you. Bill A says, what is your take on the vote? All right, I'm going to try something new tonight. I'm going to put up these little tabs in the bottom left corner as we talk about different tickers. So if somebody is watching this on replay and they don't want to hear about Bed Bath & Beyond, Mullen, GameStop, they can go to just to the spot that they want to see. Hopefully that'll help some of y'all out. Remind me if I forget to do this on future live streams. The vote is March 14th. I've made many videos in the past couple of weeks about the vote. I'm going to make probably my final video on the vote with all, everything that you need to know after earnings, which is on what date? February 27th. AMC earnings is on February 28th, Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. I will be live streaming that as always. So after that, I'll make my final video with my thoughts about what's going to happen in this vote, what's going to happen after the vote. And, there's a lot of people that come in my comments and try and troll the channel that clearly do not watch the channel. I always know when the trolls are in the comments, you're going to get your viewers in trouble because you're telling them it's going to squeeze after the vote. I've never said any such thing. I don't make sweeping statements like that. That's for other channels. So don't lump me in with either the hopium clickbait stuff, and don't lump me in with the FUD nonsense, try and scare you out of the play. I try and stay solidly in the middle based on facts, based on filings, based on what the company's telling us. And occasionally I'll give you some opinions based on experience. Nobody fucking knows what's going to happen after the vote. I can tell you as far as price, right? But if you want to know my general thoughts that I've talked about in 60 seconds, there's going to be dilution in this company in 2023 because the company is running low on cash. We had 2 billion, we're down to 500 million, 700 or so if you count the credit facilities. And so they, as executives, they don't want to get to the point where they have no cash left in case something bad happens. We don't know if there's going to be another from China, you know, and theaters got to shut down. You don't want to put your company at risk, draining the coffers of cash down to zero. So they're going to raise cash. No matter how you vote, there's going to be dilution. And that seems to be the biggest. There's two things people are mad about, right? The reverse split and the potential of dilution. But guys, you're not getting out of dilution in 2023. If you vote no, they're going to dilute APE and it's going to drop. If the no votes win, it's going to drop right back down to 65 cents. And you're going to have a very inefficient cash raising mechanism. You're going to give billions of more votes because he will create billions more APE. You're going to give billions more of cheap votes to the institutions. And they'll just keep on redoing the vote until they get the answer they want, till they get enough control, the company. So you know, that's what's going to happen with a no vote. You're going to see billions more dilution through APE in a very inefficient manner. If the yes votes win, then there will be dilution at some point after April 1st through AMC, and the price will be 10 times higher than it is now. So I think that is, you know, the company realized APE did not work. Sorry if that hurts your feelings. Some of y'all thought that. I've heard people say on calls, space calls, it worked exactly as planned. He wanted it to go to 65 cents. This was a trap for the shorts. Come on. People sold, and I don't think they did not anticipate that correctly. So it didn't work out. They're going to get rid of APE. The yes vote, they'll dilute with AMC at a higher price. What's going to happen? How many shares are they going to dilute with? How much money are they going to raise? Don't know. I haven't seen the press release. Have you? I don't do this whole speculation stuff. You throw out a number, I can tell you how much they can raise. But the company needs to raise money at Q4, February 28th. Why is that before the vote? This is what we should be thinking about right now. Could this earnings release that's coming up have some good news? Is there a reason that they scheduled it before the vote? That could be. We've got high short interest. Let's put this up for a second. We need a catalyst right now. If you want a squeeze on this stock before the vote, we need something to fucking light this tinderbox that we got on fire. We got high short interest, 23.5%. High cost to borrow, 542%. This is insane, legit. This is not bullshit numbers. This is legit. Cost to borrow, 540%. Cost to borrow max, almost 1,000%. AMC still on the threshold list right here. There are conditions right now, if we get good news, there are conditions to make a squeeze happen. What does that squeeze mean? 20, 50, 70. Some people want me to say 100,000. I have no fucking clue, guys. The short interest is low relative to where GameStop was in 2021. So keep that in mind. If you want to believe there's billions of synthetics, then you're going to have a different price target in mind. That's on you. I don't talk about billions of synthetics on this channel. I'm going to have, when the price runs up, if it runs up, I'm going to have brackets. I'm going to sell on the way up. And I'm going to make sure that I, first of all, secure the bag, get my initial investment covered, and then let the rest ride. That's the smart way to do it. Am I going to maximize profits that way? Probably not. But I don't feel confident in holding all of my portfolio that I've been holding for coming up on 2 years now to try and time the top perfectly. That is really difficult to do. So my suggestion is considering taking profits along the way. What that point is for you is going to be different for each and every person. If and when and once there is the next squeeze in this stock, whether it's in 2 weeks or 2 years, don't come back here to this channel and say, I didn't sell because it only ran to 50, or it only ran to 72, or it only ran to 200, whatever the price is. I'm not going to have any mercy on you at that point. That was your choice, guys. After the vote, the float is going to drop from combined right now. We have AMC and APE 1.4 billion-ish. It's going to drop to about 144 million. The price will go up 10x. APE and AMC market caps will combine. We talked about this the other day with Mediocre, and I've seen some different emails from John Merriweather, the CFO on AMC, about what is the price going to be after the vote if it's a yes. Now, John Merriweather's, I've seen the emails, and I believe they are legit emails. He's saying that the price is going to be AMC plus APE. Okay, that's his words. That has been what I've been saying for a while. But after doing some math on a spreadsheet, and I know some people don't agree with me, that's fine. After doing some math on a spreadsheet and taking into account the higher float of APE, I think that my way I'm viewing the price of AMC and APE after they go together will be take the current market cap of AMC, take the current market cap of APE, add them together, and divide by the float. That is what I think the price of the stock will be combined the next trading day. I don't know that that is correct. And it is what I'm saying, I understand, is in direct conflict with John Merriweather. They also said it was going to be 50-50 when they split, and that didn't happen either. So, I'd rather plan for the worst case scenario, and because the way I explained it, market caps divided by float is going to be a lower price than adding AMC and APE together. Now, why am I so confident that my way is correct? If you look at the price of AMC and APE, you know that the float of APE is about twice as much. And you'll notice that APE is pretty much trending at about half the price of AMC. I think it is my current belief that the arbitrage play is in. The market has found equilibrium. So APE, with my current understanding, with my belief on the math, APE will always be about 50% of AMC all the way up until that vote. If you see AMC stay flat and APE start running, then either there's something going on, something exciting, someone's covering that little bit of APE short interest that's out there, or my math was just completely fucked. So the only way right now for myself that I would buy APE, I'm not going to be buying it when it's half the price of AMC, based on my belief that how the price is going to work out and the arbitrage is in. The market has set the price based on the arbitrage play. I would only add APE if it was 60, 70%, 70% probably or more less than AMC. If APE just plummeted, I might add some more. Hallie, yes, we will talk about Bed Bath & Beyond, and if you want to come on and talk about that, I'm happy to DM you an invite. Cody says you forgot to mention that diluting APE is diluting AMC. Yes, If you're voting no, if the no votes win, and you say, well, just let them dilute APE, that's fine with me. Don't touch my AMC. Realize, please, guys, I've shown this so many times. When you dilute APE, you are diluting AMC. If you don't believe me, go look on the last income statement or look at the one coming on February 28th at the bottom of the income statement where it says number of shares. You'll notice it says diluted earnings per share. Your earnings are being diluted. If you're holding only AMC and thinking you're immune to APE, nope. Your earnings are being diluted. That's one measure of dilution. Your vote is also being diluted. That's the other measure of dilution. So you cannot stick your head in the sand and say, I'm going to vote no and just dilute APE. I don't hold any anyways. APE is fucking you over if you're holding AMC. I promise you. Look at the income statement. Look at the fact that APE has twice the amount of votes of AMC. If you want that to keep happening and you think that you're going to be immune from dilution by only holding AMC, you're not understanding how finance works. Cwin says that I listened to KC this morning. I did not. What numbers were they looking at, Cwin? Or were we talking price, like what the price is going to be after the split? Supra says, if the split happens and we don't run, then we are screwed. I'm not worried about the split. Now, again, I could be wrong. I'm not worried about a reverse split. Remember, a reverse split, nothing changes in the math. There are going to be people, all these crybabies that are not happy, that start selling. And the shorts might apply some pressure after a reverse split. But this is all speculation. Who the fuck knows? Like, does someone have a better crystal ball than me? I know penny stocks fall after reverse splits. I warn you guys about it every single week. But we're not a penny stock. We're not a company with no earnings, a company that is doing a reverse split because we're about to be kicked off the big board. There is a plan for why this reverse split is being done to bump the price up for a cash raise. So go watch my video from 2 weeks ago on are all reverse splits bad? Please go watch that. If you think that all reverse splits are bad, then you need to stop trading penny stocks because your world is not big enough. You need to increase your sample size. And I did that for you in about 10 minutes on a video a couple weeks ago. What I am more concerned about, though, and I'll go over this more after the earnings, is that there is going to be more dilution in this company. So let's just hope that this earnings on February 28th exceeds market expectations. But if we're faced with more dilution after the vote, whether it's with a no and APE dilution or a yes and AMC dilution, that's going to add some temporary negative pressure on the stock. We've talked about this on this channel with you guys many times. So that's, you have something to think about as the calendar is ticking down closer to that vote. Are you going to hold through all of that? Are you going to sell and try and hope that it goes down? If your idea was to sell and catch a drop and then rebuy, some people are going to do that. I'm sure some will. Some will hold through it. Depending on what happens, if the price goes up or down, what all factors and evil forces are in play out there will determine what happens. Not what I say, not what anyone on any other channel says. If it goes down, what happens months later, and I'm sorry if months later is not on your time frame. What happens months later when the company announces how much cash they raised to improve the balance sheet and or pay off some of the debt at a discount, then I think, even if there was a temporary drop in price, you're going to see the market understand and appreciate that the balance sheet is being improved. Balance sheet can be improved by paying down liabilities or by increasing cash, or both. And that is our major albatross around our neck right now. We got two. We're not quite operating income positive yet, but we will be by 2024. We're making those steps up. I got some exciting news to share with you in just a couple weeks about ticket sales. Maybe should I give you a hint? Tickets. I'll give you a hint, but I'm gonna make a big deal about this in a couple weeks. Did you know that we're 6 weeks into this year and the ticket sales for 2023 have already almost exceeded the entire ticket sales of 2022? If you need something to be excited about throughout all of this nonsense with the vote or whatever the February 28th Q4 earnings are going to be, I want you to sit back and think for a second how the Q1 earnings is going to be 3 months from now. Knowing that, and this is a fact, and I'm going to make a video in a couple weeks and show you guys the data, that the ticket sales for 2023, 6 weeks in, have already almost exceeded the entire year of 2022. I should be jumping out of my chair with excitement, but I'm going to save that for the video when we cross that boundary. A couple people asked me, a couple of other, to get off the AMC topic, a couple of other people asked me, is there going to be a QSIP change? Yes, there will be a QSIP change. Do I think that that is going to matter? No, I do not. I do not think that's going to matter. What am I drinking tonight, Danny? I've got an Old Forester Mesquite filtered Kentucky bourbon. Backyard Boogie, what's up? Let me see what comments I missed here. Comments or questions? John's Day Trades, thank you, amigo. I appreciate you for lighting those lights up while I was blathering on. Scavenger, what's up, amigo? Average Ape, good evening. Scavenger, if you want to come on, let me know. Steven, if you want to come on, let me know. I wasn't sure what time I was going to start tonight, so I didn't send out any invites. It's been a long fucking week, man. When the market closed, I was chatting with Steven and Sufyan for, I don't know, about an hour, and I was like, I'm fucking tired. I got to take a nap if I'm going to be up live streaming tonight. And so I didn't set something up until I knew what time I was going to be up and awake enough, energetic enough to do a live stream. But yeah, if any of y'all want to come on and talk movies or stocks, I'm about to get off of the AMC subject unless you guys have other questions. We got other tickers to go through. Diaz, what's going on? A couple of other tickers that retail is following, that some highlights from this week that I want to go over with you. They weren't really worth a dedicated video. If you follow me on Twitter or in the community tab, I put this stuff out there. If you're in the Discord by being a member of the channel, hit the join button. You get free Discord. If you're a supporter of the channel, it's about 25 cents a day. It's only a fee, so I can keep out the shills and the trolls. If you're in the Discord, I'm posting this stuff constantly throughout the day. But what I think is worthy of even further elevation, follow me on Twitter. Keep an eye on the community tab. All of that is for free. So we're going to go over some of those things that were items of interest in other big tickers that retail's following this week. Things that maybe are slipping under the radar because People aren't telling you this stuff that you need to know. Papa Mac says, "Oh, no, I'm not gonna go into the." I know you want to talk about the price. We're not. I already talked about it. I understand there's multiple ways to figure it. I'm giving you my opinion, guys. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. I'm not gonna. I don't want to do the whole price. Let's guess the price after the vote. We're not going to do that. Steven says, if you need a needle of death example, look at MVLA today. All right, needle of death. The needle of death. On the hourly. Let's go to the 5-minute. That's a pretty good needle of death. This is, we joke about the needle of death. When do you get out of a play? When do you fucking never get back into a play? If you see a big run up and then you see this huge spike. Now, I'm not going to say this works 100% of the time, but in our Discord, we talk about this all the time. And in Steven's Discord also, the famous needle of death. When you see this big run up and then this big spike, and then the volume starts dropping off and the price starts coming down, it's just my general rule for myself. You can take this as something to keep in your, in your back pocket to keep an eye on for yourself and see if you think it works for you. I do not like to buy once we see the needle of death. I'm not going to be buying this on the downside. Now, there will be other channels that tell you, but you might get a second bounce, or I missed that first run up. I'm just going to wait for it to bottom out right here at $5, jump back in and hope. Meanwhile, they do that and it drops down to $4.60. And then Tuesday, it's going to be at $3. And then by Friday next week, it's going to be below $3. Keep an eye out for this pattern, the needle of death. I have not bought San Diego, the High West whiskey. Double rye. All right, I'm going to keep an eye out for that one. Scarlett just grabbed me a new bottle of Bullet rye, so that's on standby when we finish the Old Forester. But High West, I'm going to have to try and remember that. High West, Texas, and everything west of us is Texas. High West. High like Boss Blunts. Boss Blunts, Texas. All right, got it. Love you, boss. Hopefully he stops in tonight. Marcel, Pantheon, KC, if any of y'all are watching, come in, say hi to the folks. I have the worst memory sometimes. I can remember numbers. I can remember filings and forms, but remembering names and birthdays, I'm bad with. High West. Ask me again in an hour if I remember it. Broke Ape says, MVLA paid me today. Could I explain what happened with SLND? I saw that SLND, wasn't it yesterday when it ran up to $2,000? Was that the one that ran to 2,000? Yeah, I have no idea what happened. I saw it. It was over. And I'll look into that this weekend. No clue. Did someone fat finger it? I have no idea. It was only at $2,000 for a couple minutes. Very, very unusual. If you know exactly what happened, let me know. Clearly that price was, let's see was there any short interest? That doesn't matter. It's already back down to $8. Doesn't matter. Yuka, how do you do that? How do you put your characters backwards like that? Anything Goes says, if I hold 2,000 APE and 2,000 AMC, how many will I have after conversion and reverse split? You'll have 4,000 when they combine, and then it'll be divided by 10, so you'll have 400. Where is Mass KYP? I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him this week. Give me a call, amigo. Give me a call. I'm assuming he's working his ass off trying to pay some bills. I did talk to him about a week ago, and he said that there is potential that he might be moving again. I really don't know. I don't know what is going on in his life right now. So I'll try and touch base with him this weekend. Have I tried Crown 18 yet? I have not. No. Juicy says, check out BOXL and AKAN. Penny, possible run up. All right. I'm going to put them up on the chart just for, not because I know anything about them, but just so anybody reviewing these, if you need to look at these tickers, and we're going to come back and hold Juicy accountable. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. BOXL has run up already from 26 cents to 75 in the past couple months. That's not a bad run up. AKAN. We'll need to go in and look at other details on these to see what else they got going on. This one, AKAN, had a recent run up to 63 cents, currently at 30 cents. Let's go into some. Are we talking about? No, not Sundial, Danny. It was SDNL. Some stock that ran up to $2,000 for a couple minutes and then came right back down. Has crypto found the bottom? Six Sun. I'm withholding any predictions on crypto till the end of March. I don't know that the market has found the bottom yet. And, look, guys, I know there's people out there. There might be one or two making predictions on the SPY based on pattern recognition. Now, I do not do that on this channel. I look at economics. I look at bonds. I look at interest rates, things that Wall Street is looking at. I'm not looking for repeating patterns on the SPY to tell you what's happening next week. My degree is in economics. I'm going to focus on stuff that I know. In 30 years of watching market crashes and market rallies, when interest rates go up and companies start losing money and start laying off and reducing their outlook for upcoming quarters, interest rates are going up, bonds are paying more, the stock market is going to suffer. So I want to get through the entire first quarter of this year and also see what the Fed is saying about interest rates, because if they're going to keep raising, we're going to keep on being in pain. I don't care what pattern you fucking see. You are being oblivious to basic economics and how finance and Wall Street works. So I want to see for crypto and for the SPY and the indexes and every play that we're in, we can make money on day trades right now. It is really tough to say with any certainty that we're locked in and golden on any buys that we're doing right now, because there is still, in my mind, a major risk of some more market upset. I'll have a better sense where we're at maybe after the next Fed meeting, maybe after end of March, sometime in that time frame. I'm not expecting 2023 to be fantastic, but I do think, if you are able to carefully time your buys and develop a robust, diverse portfolio, major, blue chip stocks, on weakness, companies that you are convinced. I'm going to throw some names out there. I'm not recommending any of these, but blue chip stocks. What do I have on my watch list here? Things like AMD, Amazon, American Express, Boeing, Citigroup, Disney, FedEx, GM, Google, things in that category. Look for your blue chip stocks that are being sold off because of bad news right now. Your future self will thank you. And same with crypto. Like I sold off a vast majority of my crypto, waiting to see things settle. I still have some holdings. And I don't care, if I sold at 17 and it's at 24 right now, I don't care. I don't want to be sitting around and watch it drop to 10. I'm happy to buy back in when I see that it really has some legs and starts moving. I'll jump on that quick. But I think crypto will run when the market starts moving again also. They more and more they're tied together. Did I hear the Denaro was arrested in Italy? I did. I saw that a couple weeks ago. Someone sent that to me. Mob boss Denaro arrested in Sicily. See when KC and Pantheon Math Talk on live. I missed if you talked about it earlier. See when I missed the topic though. What math were they trying to figure out? Was it the price? The price after split? Clark, what's up? Lauren, what is up? Lauren says, do I think earnings has been moved up because Adam's going to drop a bomb? Lauren, I'm always going to be optimistic. I keep it very real and raw here with you guys, and it might always sound like I'm being pessimistic, but I'm being real. And right now, the reality of the market isn't, there's nothing too exciting about it. But in certain plays in AMC, I am optimistic. I'm hopeful that he's going to drop a nuclear bomb, some unexpected good news on February 28th. We got the tender box. We got high cost to borrow, high short interest. I'm hoping that there's some unexpected good news. But I don't think that Q4 was anything fantastic, but I can't see, I can see domestic quarterly numbers. I can't see global quarterly numbers. So we'll see. I'm going to spend some time this weekend doing some EPS estimates. The other thing that is going to come in play in this quarter, you guys might know this, maybe no one's talking about it. There is the goodwill adjustment is done in the fourth quarter. Now, I think that our goodwill has been fully written down. There have been in the Q4s recently, the past couple years, some write downs in Q4 that will fucking crush your earnings per share. I don't mean that in a good way, but I think that there's a high probability that our goodwill has been written down enough that they might not have to write it down anymore. Cross fingers, guys. But that is the one thing that I don't have the supercomputer to analyze every business segment globally in AMC and derive their value and determine if they have been impacted. That is a complex calculation reserved for finance folks and CPAs that work for the company. So if there was no goodwill write down, and if the worldwide box office was good and concessions and all that, who knows? I mean, I'm very hopeful that the reason he's doing it on February 28th is to give us good news before that vote. We will see. If it's bad news, I'll be crying right here with you live, 4 p.m. Eastern on the 28th. C1 says total share count. They were trying to figure the numbers of total share count. Total share count. It's just under 1.5 billion. If that's what you're asking, what is the total share count combined of APE and AMC? I mean, I'm not trying to be exact. It's not quite 1.5 billion, but it's close. Can I explain the TRKA news today? I did not see it, but let me pull it up. I don't see any news on TRKA. Let me look on Webull. Oh, okay. Troika withdraws filing for securities offering. So they were going to issue a new dilution and they withdrew it. Similar to what GNS did this week. Genius Group. And how did the stock perform? It still went down. That's strange. Daniel San says, Tony, I miss you, brother. Can you explain? Oh, that's what I just read. I miss you too, Daniel. All right, let me try and catch up on these comments. And then we're going to go through a couple of other tickers. DM traders, should I dump my AMC shares and buy APE? I cannot give you specific financial advice, DM trader. I can tell you the same thing that I'm telling folks in the Discord about what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not dumping anything. There's too much uncertainty. I think that I honestly think, in my opinion, my math, and I know people don't agree, and that's fine, that the hedge is in. That it's the arbitrage. Sorry, the arbitrage is factored in right now. The market efficiency has already recognized the same thing that my math did. That the arbitrage price of APE is about 55% less of AMC. And so I think that they're fairly priced. That is my opinion. You can agree or disagree. I'm not trying to tell you that to sway you to buy, sell, or hold anything. I'm just telling you, I did the math. I looked at it with a group of people, and I'm just sitting pat right now. I already loaded up APE when it was low, like $1, and so I don't need to add any more right now. And I don't see the advantage based on my math, and I'm not going to do the spreadsheet because it's just I'm not going to do the spreadsheet in a video because it's just going to create a frenzy of people arguing. For the folks in the Discord, we had a video call on it, going through it. John Merriweather does not agree with my spreadsheet. I get it. But I'm currently of the way of thinking that the arbitrage is in. There's no advantage to do anything at this point. David says the bomb is we're going to be cash and EPS positive. That's a big ask, David. Just knowing the financials the way I do, I would say, just being blunt, almost zero chance of that. We're way too low. We need about 11 billion in annual income to get cash flow positive, and it's just not. I don't see us getting there in Q4. But there could be some improvements. There could be enough to make it beat market expectations. That's all you need. You can still be losing money and beat market expectations. I think that our first chance, and Adam Aaron said this many times, first chance of being really cash flow positive, positive EPS is 2024. We're on the track. We're on the way. The important thing is showing progress. Unlike companies like Bed Bath & Beyond or GameStop that are losing sales every quarter, we are increasing. Cocaine Bear will be a franchise. Fentanyl Ferret and the Magic Mushroom Moose will be the buddy movie of the year. Oh man, I want to go see that. Is that out yet this weekend? I'm taking my wife to go see a movie this weekend. Did I vote already? 6 on. I have voted about 20% of my shares. I haven't logged into all my brokers. 6 on. Have I seen that Lou, my buddy Lou up in New York, is selling GFYM ball caps? I did see that. Yeah. Just someone pointed that out to me, so I went and looked. And hey, But he's got to pay. He's got to pay the bills, and his viewership's down. So he's got to do something. But I was just noticing that he's got a black baseball cap with a black logo on it. I'm like, what? So your merchandising folks did not think that out very well, Lou. So go put some white letters on that black baseball cap. Please do a poll on the vote, Super. As if I do a poll, I can already tell you what the results are going to be. You guys know if you're on this channel. I'd rather buy a Go Fuck Your Mother ball cap than a Matt Kors fanny pack. Yeah, I would too. Although Lou's getting a little shilly again. It's the whole reel you in and then throw you back out. It's this whole psyop thing. It's all about creating drama and tension, get the people coming back. The guy's a fucking master. He's a fucking master. But I know you guys know how to see through all that bullshit. I'm not going to hate somebody that understands the game. He's got it down. All right. So we talked about AMC. Let's talk about what else we got here. Oh, all right. So let me edit this. CLNV, Clean Vision. Now I might have Frank back on to talk about CLNV because that's one of his babies. Frank, the Cosmos guy. This is a penny stock it's been ranging between 7 to 9 cents. I'm not promoting this stock, guys, just to be clear. I do not own any. I'm going to tell you what I'm looking at right now about this stock because they had news today and people are getting excited and I'm seeing people buying it. Again, making the same fucking mistakes. You're buying because someone is pumping it and you're not looking at the fucking fundamentals. You're not looking at filings. You're getting excited over some bullshit news. Not that the news is bullshit. It's bullish. But you cannot be so myopic that is the only thing that you do. And you put your hard-earned money in a play and just tune everything else out. Come on. I want to collectively make all of you guys better traders so that you don't get fucking ass reamed on every play that someone is pumping. What do I mean? What's going on with Clean Vision, Tony? All right. You guys know I have talked to Frank back when Cosmos was being, when it was a play. I respect him. Never met him. I've only talked to him basically the same time you guys have, when he's been on the live stream. But Clean Vision had an announcement today that I don't even see it on here, that they are going to do a stock dividend. Stock dividend. I think it's 5 shares for every 100 that you own as a short busting thing, right? Everybody wants a dividend. Let's get people hyped up about we're gonna run the shorts out of this play. Well, I went to OTCmarkets.com and I looked at the short interest on Clean Vision. I just don't see it that high. Now, people can speculate about nakeds, I don't do that here. So you want to believe that? That's on you. Stock dividend is good. And what I want you to know, what I'm looking at this is this stock could run just because retail gets excited about a stock dividend. That's how I'm looking at this play. There might be an opportunity to make a couple pennies based on uninformed retail getting excited that someone's doing something about naked shorts, even though I can't find them. But what else? What can I find? All right. When I go look at the SEC filings on Clean Vision, guys, they have not reported financials since 2020. 2 years of financial statements just missing. This is their latest Form 10 filed months ago, and it covers 2019 and 2020. So first of all, for me, as a due diligence investor, this is already a red flag. I have zero financial basis to judge if this is a good investment or not. And I'm not going off of some pumper on YouTube or Twitter saying I'm going to buy it because of the stock dividend. They're working, the CEO's working so hard for us. If he's working hard, get the fucking financials published. It's all smoke and mirrors. Do not trust any CEO, and especially if they can't fucking publish the financials, you ought to be a little bit concerned. I don't know about you guys, but this is concerning to me. How can I tell if 7 cents is a fair price? How can I tell if the company is improving or getting worse? I cannot. 2 years of data missing. Now, I did reach out to Frank and, rant over. I did reach out to Frank, and he said that it's coming soon. So I will be watching for this, and I will let y'all know. But please, for the love of God, I spoke to someone today that said he bought it. I bought Clean Vision. I'm excited about this stock dividend. Did you know they haven't published financials? No, I didn't notice that. Well, then you are, look, if those financials come in and they're excellent, this stock is going to probably run, because that would be good news. But if they come in and they're not good, you're going to be fucking rug pulled faster than you can. What? You're going to be rug pulled if the financials come in and 2 years worth are bad. And you got roped in because of a stock dividend. Did you ever stop to think that just maybe, and I don't know, I'm just speculating, that the stock dividend was a little bit of a retail, hey, right before the earnings come out and you get rug pulled? Like, I just don't trust anybody. So good luck. I mean, if you're in it and it's a coin flip right now to me. It's a coin flip. If the earnings are good, you could come out like a bandit on this play. If the earnings are bad, you could lose 50% of your value in 5 minutes. I have no fucking clue what it's going to be. I'm just pointing out to you what I'm concerned about, things that I look at. Frank also told me that, and I asked him, do you have any evidence? He didn't answer. He said that the float is locked up by a group of investors. Okay. Can I find that anywhere? Maybe it is. That would be bullish. Maybe, or maybe it's a pump and dump. I just don't fucking know. Who is this group of investors? Where is the evidence that they have the float locked up? I don't know, guys. Things that I look at, things that I want you to look at. Don't just buy something because of somebody pumping it, or you're excited about CEOs that are chasing naked shorts. There's a lot of shenanigans going on right now with these CEOs and with these companies. And I'm not gonna spare anybody tonight. What else we got here? Created, CRTD. Jeremy Frommer. Created. Let me update my tickers here for the bottom of the screen. Jeremy Frommer. I'm a first. Oops, wrong one. That was Karen's coaching Instagram or Twitter. CRTD. All right. First of all, I want to give props to Jeremy Frommer for getting an upstream listing. I also posted on Twitter a interview that Mr. Frommer did talking about the upstream listing, and I want to give him 100% props for being honest with people. Because what I heard him say early on in that 45-minute interview, and the things that I've been pointing out to you guys since GTII, when the buddy in New York was pumping it, talking about upstream. Notice how I did see that he made a video. I don't care about dual listing anymore. It's not going to work. Well, you fucking told your people for a month that was the secret to a MOAS on GTII. Now all of a sudden you're on my team. You're on my page. You don't think it's going to do anything. It's not. It's not going to do jack shit. And I've been saying that since Lou was pumping GTII. Upstream is not going to do anything. Go read Created's press release. What do they tell you it's going to do? I know you guys hate me for saying this, but I'm going to tell you what the company told you. This is not some pump clickbait bullshit. I'm not going to tell you like Lou that Upstream is going to fucking moon this thing. I'm going to tell you exactly what the company said. They said, we are listing on Upstream for an additional source of liquidity. Not once in their fucking press releases did they ever mention making shorts cover, addressing naked shorts, causing a short squeeze. They were very honest with you, and you should pay attention to that. It is an additional liquidity source. And we're going to get to Genius in a second because they're doing the same fucking thing. So you can go register your shares on Upstream. You can't buy anything as a U.S. citizen on Upstream. Did you know that? No, Lou didn't tell you that. But what I want to give props to Jeremy Frommer in the YouTube interview that he did is with the I think it was the CEO of Upstream. They pointed out a couple things that I've been telling you guys for months. You cannot buy on Upstream. All you can do is sell as a U.S. investor. All right, that's already one problem. They're working on getting that fixed. It's a regulation thing. Second thing is Jeremy said very plain English that it makes him angry that some CEOs, Roger, I'm guessing, are pumping this Upstream will fuck the naked shorts. Jeremy said it as plain as fucking day that Upstream is not intended, nor does he foresee it being some short busting plan. And I want to, hat tip, bow, applause Jeremy for being honest. He's always been honest in the press releases. It's the fucking YouTubers and fucktards on Twitter that are putting out this nonsense that Upstream is going to root out the naked shorts. No, it's not. Jeremy, I appreciate you for being honest. And I wish you success in your, efforts to raise additional liquidity on Upstream. I understand what you're doing. I'm trying to communicate the same thing to people. And at least, guys, out of all these CEOs that are blowing smoke up your ass, at least the man is being honest. I'll give him that. He did, by the way, get an award from the company on the 8th of 10.6 million shares. The float is like 29 million shares. That's a pretty healthy award. Just awarded himself a third of the float. That won't increase the free float, but you will see the shares outstanding increase. There were some other executives that got awards. Things that nobody's going to be telling you guys. I'm going to point out when things are kind of like smacking me as a little bit. Things that make you go, Your award for performance was 1/3 the float in terms of additional shares. Also, in created news, let's just finish this off. I wanted to start with the good stuff. There were two other prospectus updates. There were two filings back from July of 2022 for 6 million shares and 11 million shares. And they have warrants. And the reason that there was an update this week on the two of these is you guys know who buys these warrants when they do these offerings, right? The big money. The warrants are either bought at a discount or they're a bonus if you buy the shares. Well, the stock's not doing that great. And so the company changed the prospectus to amend the exercise price of the warrants to 20 cents in exchange for immediate Sorry, let me read the whole sentence. The company has agreed to amend the exercise price of the warrants to 20 cents in exchange for immediate exercise of the warrants. What does that tell you? Somebody wants to fucking exercise 11 million shares and 6 million shares. Exercise those warrants. So I don't know. Haven't looked at dilution tracker. These are the potential dilution right here for created. It could go up to 50 million, double the float. So if you're seeing CRTD go down this week and you're wondering why they just completed an upstream listing, I was told that was going to force the shorts to cover. A, no, it's not. B, they just made it easier for the big money to dilute, to get out from under those warrants. So that's the CRTD news, the good and the bad. Thank you, Jeremy, for being honest. If you're retail and you're holding this stock, understand what is happening with the filings, and then you can have your expectations a little bit more grounded in reality. Speaking of dilution, I already did a video on BBBY a week ago. Let's put, please go watch that. If you're thinking that BBBY is a great price right now, I want you to look at the float. I put this video up, this chart up 7 to 10 days ago when these convertible preferred shares were offered. Somebody bought them, and there's going to be more. BBBY. The float is going to go up at least about 7x right now. So if you're wondering why is BBBY selling off, someone was arguing with me earlier today. Tony, no, Tony, they would never do that. They would never buy preferred shares and then convert them. Yes, they fucking would. Go watch my video. Read the filing. Look at the price that they got these things at. Anytime you are able to run retail, anytime you're able to run the price up and get them in a profit, they being the institutional investor who bought those preferred shares, they are going to sell them to you. They gave money to Bed Bath & Beyond, a company that is still flirting with bankruptcy, very likely going to be bankrupt. They put up their hard-earned money, millions of dollars, to buy these preferred shares. If the company goes bankrupt, they'll be ahead of you in line to get a payout of whatever's left. But in the meantime, they would like to make some money off of that. Remember how Antara did with AMC? Whoever bought these preferred shares they want you to run it up so they can slide those out to you, make a profit, and they're not looking for moonshot. 20% would be great. 50%. The entire office is going to Vegas. 100%, 200%, 300%. The entire fucking firm is going to the Bahamas. So if you think Bed Bath & Beyond is going to moon, I'd just say maybe, if there is some stupendous news out of the blue, that 1% shot that Ryan Cohen offers $1 billion for a bye-bye baby, twice the current market cap. Or what is the current market cap of Bed Bath & Beyond? Market cap is 200 million. All right. So if he offers $1 billion for bye-bye baby, I'm just making up numbers, this stock will shoot up to what? $6, $7, $10 maybe. He's not going to offer $1 billion for bye-bye baby. I think it's worth about $500,000. So I think, realistically, if there were a 1% shot that someone's going to offer them money for Bye Bye Baby, you could see this thing pop on news like that to $5 or $6, depending on what the offer price is. In the meantime, any other retail attempt to drive it up with no news is going to be met by conversion of preferred shares. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. I've seen it too many times. J.E. Almeida says, I wish I was in Texas to have brisket and beers. Yeah, come on down. Let's do it. I'm ready for some more. Ready for some more. By the way, if you watched my Bed Bath & Beyond video a week or 10 days ago and resisted the urge to buy as it was falling, I would have saved you about a 50% loss. I made that video right here when it was around $7, dropping to $3-4, and now it's at $180. And I've had people arguing with me since the 7th of February that I am wrong. I don't understand this. I don't understand what you're thinking, but I understand what Wall Street's thinking. And I tried to warn you that this thing was going to get decimated. 7 to 9 times the float on a company that has declining annual revenues and is closing locations, and their suppliers are also filing bankruptcy. There's no good outcome in this play. I mean, there's a 1% chance of a good outcome in this play. That's what Wall Street's thinking. Papa Mac says you can either, for AMZ, you can either vote yes or vote wrong. I'm not going to do a poll for or against Miliosa. We already know what the answer is going to be on this channel. I don't think that viewers of my channel, if they've been watching me since August, first of all, most of them have been buying ape because there was a fantastic arbitrage opportunity if you bought ape cheap. This was not a sell ape channel. All those guys, the reason they're telling you to vote no is because they sold all their ape. They're missing out on all the goodies. They weren't buying ape. They had no fucking balls to buy it when it was 60 cents. And we're sitting up 2, 3, 5x on our money right now, depending on where you bought it in. People that watch this channel. And we also know what's going to happen if the no vote wins, that the price is going to drop right back down to 60 cents. And Adam Aron is going to be forced to inefficiently raise capital at 65 cents a share and issue billions of more ape. I know how my channel is going to vote. You're not going to avoid dilution either way. The only good argument that can be made for no vote is I'm over leveraged. I want this over right now. I want to keep on doing what we're doing because it's working so good. Don't talk to Beam Out Bath. I didn't ever look at a financial statement. I believed Lou. I believed Trey. I believed Matt. Tony, why weren't you here in January to June of 2021? Yeah, they're mad. These guys are mad because they're over leveraged. They listen to some kid tell them not to sell. And they don't have dry powder to average down right now, right? You know, when things get cheap or after, if there is more dilution in April, that gets cheaper, you should, if you like the company, if you think the company is going to recover in 2024 and there's no MOAS, let's just say if there wasn't, that is the time to buy. Never buy any stock in a fucking run up. Every play that we talk about every week, I will keep on telling you guys the same thing. If you're buying into the run up, you need to scale down your risk. Do not fucking load the boat, mortgage the house, and buy something that's already run up 200%, 300%, 400%. You're crazy. And then you want to blame the CEO? No, blame yourself, friend. Blame yourself. What the company's doing, AMC, is attempting to improve the balance sheet. It's not going to be fun. No. Could a squeeze happen if there's some good news February 28th or something that we're not expecting? 100%. The fire is set. The logs are on the fire with the high cost to borrow and the high short interest. But we need a catalyst. That's what we're waiting on. But if one doesn't come and we just go through the vote and we go through the reverse split and then they dilute, it's going to be a longer game. And if you don't have the patience for that, just sell, and no hard feelings from me. You got to do what you got to do. I will never fault anybody for doing that. You come back and switch to a trash talking channel, I might fault you for that because you're blaming the wrong person. Get a mirror, look in it. You got duped by Trey and Lou and Matt, and then they all went away. Learn something from that. That was an expensive mistake. If you sell at a loss and move on, don't come back and trash talk. Learn from it, grow. Don't make the same mistake again. Look at financials. Watch this channel. Ask questions. Understand the management. Management and financials do not fucking matter for a day trade. But if you're going to be holding something more than a couple weeks, you better understand what the fuck you bought. So many. I'm gonna start doing a FUD busters on all these chump YouTube channels that put out this clickbait nonsense, telling you guys, oh, the company just, they warned about upcoming bankruptcy. Guys, this is bullish. I'm excited. I'm loading the boat. I see so many of these channels that are just like oblivious to basic facts. All they care about is making you come back, feeding you that sweet hopium. And y'all fall for it. Not the regular viewers of this channel, not those in my Discord. You guys are the real army of smart, seasoned investors. And I wish I could be live more with the rest of you that aren't in the Discord to keep on beating this into your head that you got to detach from Reddit and the clickbait hopium nonsense. You can ride those for a day, but you don't. No. I bought this stock, Tony, and I held it overnight. It was up 200%, but in pre-market they announced a dilution and it dropped all the way back down. Yeah. Again, the famous CEO handbook, chapter 2. When the price runs up, you better be expecting dilution. If you haven't learned that by now, I want you to go to your local library and check out a leather-bound copy of the CEO handbook. I'm just kidding. It only exists in my mind. But chapter 2 is if the price runs up, create a share offering and sell, because that's what these CEOs of these shitty penny stock companies want to do. They want to fix their balance sheets too. Chapter 1 says if you've already got a shelf offering, that's why you got to look at filings, right? You might need to go back 6-8 months to see if they have a shelf offering. That is an older filing that gives them the right to sell at any time they want. That's just sitting out there like a ticking time bomb. When these prices of all these stocks run up, you're going to wake up one day and, oh, they just announced that they closed the shelf and doubled the float and the price. Every fucking time. Every time. Chapter 1 and chapter 2. Learn it. What do they say on the Fast Time? Was it Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Read it, learn it, live it. Was that what he said? To Spicoli. Mike L says Trey at least made a real nice how-to on options for new people in the market. Yeah. I mean, Trey served a purpose. He got a lot of people in this play. He's a great kid. But unfortunately, these people had unrealistic price expectations, and too many people believed that they knew what they were doing. They were just chronicling themselves learning how the stock market works. That's how I look at it. I was selling options in June of 2021 as I was watching these guys buy options at 50, 60 bucks. I'm literally shouting at my screen, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you telling people to do? No, do not fucking buy options after it's run from 7 to 70 bucks. What the fuck? They've got hundreds here. I'm gonna load the boat." I mean, sure, there's a 1% chance that could happen, but that is just not smart money management. Just need some of these tasty waves. Hey, man. What do you say? Yo, dude, what's your problem? Aloha, Mr. Hand. Spicoli. 1796 says, I can't say it enough, guys. I'm bullish as fuck. We're obviously trading in a pattern that, has nowhere to go but up. I'm just going to ignore the past 18 months. Lordy, Lord, don't get me started. No, I'm not going to go there. Not going to go there. I'm just going to say as nicely as I can to my algo-loving friends, spend more time on this channel, please. Become my friend, have some conversations if you can do it like an adult. If you can dare handle someone that might have a different opinion about things without getting your feelings hurt, I'm happy to talk to you guys and talk to you about economics and why the Fed matters and why bonds matter and why interest rates matter. Why just looking at one chart is you're dooming yourself and your viewers to failure if that is the only thing you look at. And I mean that in the nicest way. Like, I want it to squeeze too, trust me. But you cannot just look at one chart and ignore everything else going on in the world. Life does not work that way. The markets don't work that way. Wall Street does not work that way. And you are seeing patterns that you want to see. You're not seeing reality. David says, after Mo asks come to Mexico, yo pago. You're not going to pay for me. If I come to Mexico, I come on my own dime, my friend. But I'll let you buy me a Modelo or Tecate or Corona, whatever you drink down there. What's your drink of choice, David? And what city? What city are we talking about? Is it one is it one that I'm going to be in danger in? Border towns. Some of these border towns are getting rough. All right. Steve says, Tony, AMC, 193 million shares on loan, but only 121 million shorted. Yeah, I've seen y'all asking me about that in the comments. I don't have a good answer. Why someone is carrying shares and not shorting them. My kind of thinking on that is maybe they're saving them for a moment where they need them, but I don't know. Nobody knows. There's a lot of guesses. I've heard many people make some good guesses. One of us is right. I don't know. Why does bondage matter? Bonds, not bondage. Let's see. Where have I been to in Mexico? I've been to Cancun. I've been to Guadalajara, Mexico City, all the border towns. Had a girlfriend in El Paso for a while. Been down to Padre Island. I had a girlfriend that was from the Valley down in Harlingen area. I've been, either through vacation or girls that I knew, just to about every border town. And the other trips into the country, Guadalajara, Mexico City, and the beaches were either work or vacation. Hallie, yeah, let's talk Canada Best Buy. Let me shoot you over the invite. I forgot to mention that. Thank you. Copy. Do I have Discord open? Oh, I do have it open. All right. I'm going to shoot it over to you on Discord so you can join in the stream. Again, KC, Pantheon, Scavenger, Steven, Sufyan, if any of y'all want to come on and talk some stonks, you're welcome to do it. All right, Hallie, there you go. All right, he says he'll join in about 10 minutes. He is in Canada, guys, and there was some Bed Bath & Beyond Canada news this week also that I forgot to mention. So we'll run through that real quick also when I see him join in. Speaking of Mexico, I saw a headline today, didn't read the article, that there's Chinese people coming across the border in Mexico now. We got everybody from South America. Now we got the Chinese, probably got some Iranians. Just come on in, everybody. Come on in. Oh, while we're waiting on Hallie, speaking of funny headlines, let's see what else. See what else we got here. Saw some funny headlines. I don't want to talk politics, but this is a funny headline. Senator John Fetterman will be in the hospital for clinical depression. Pennsylvanians shocked. That one's kind of funny to me. Bunch of trains derailing this week. That was in the news. I was doing some reading up on that. Man, Ohio's train tracks are in shitty shape. We got some Ponzi schemers raised $650 million on cattle pot profit. What the fuck? Cattle and pot? They got 6 years in prison. Solid fourth quarter earnings on AutoNation. I haven't read this one, but I need to go read it because this could, I'm not going to do it now, but I'm a lot of y'all keep asking me about Carvana. I'm not bullish on Carvana because of interest rates and the recession, and car prices being high. But this could be something to add to our knowledge. So I'll read that this weekend. DraftKings stock surges after the company boost outlook. That's good. DraftKings been under fire for a long time now. I've avoided buying it. I'll go read that this weekend and get up to speed on DraftKings. I've been avoiding buying it. And when we talk about all these EV companies, all of them, I've told you guys my experience in product development. And I spent at one point, almost a year of my life dealing with battery fires. And it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not easy to diagnose. It's not easy to fix. It's usually due to a marginal supplier with a suboptimal production process, suboptimal quality audits. And Ford is dealing. And so I bring that up because I've mentioned over the last year, all of these startups, even if they get into production, all it takes is one recall can bankrupt them. Now, Ford is not going to be bankrupt over a battery issue, but if Ford is having issues, if you guys wonder why I'm a little bit sketchy on some of these startups. I've done many, many product launches. I've done factory startups. I've been in these Chinese factories, spent years of my life over there. If you're building it in the US, you might have stricter quality standards, but I'm pretty sure that the Ford issue was from a South Korean battery supplier. Let's see what it has to say. Toyota also had to recall its first EV because of risk. The wheels would come loose. Holy shit. Somewhere, I don't see it in this article, somewhere I read that they said that the issue was isolated to a South Korean battery supplier. Anyways, these things can take some time to figure out and fix. That's what I'm thinking when I'm reading things like this, because I lived that. It's not fun. Not in autos. I did not work in the auto industry, but I've got enough experience dealing with this sort of shit to know what's really going on behind the scenes. They're not having a good time right now. Hopefully they isolated it. It was just a batch issue, but they're going to need to go in and look at the whole factory process, production, quality audits, figure out how this slipped, improve the production process, improve the quality audits. This is not an easy thing. Tesla also had some self-driving recalls, although from what I understand, that is a little easier. You just push out a new programming. I really want to start covering Tesla more often on this channel. Like someone asked me, I had a troll in the comments today. He said, Tony, your channel is never going to last once AMC does the vote. Like, I talk about what you guys ask about. There's so many other tickers that I would like to be covering, but the information and the questions, the goings on in AMC is so overwhelming. I barely have time to get my head above water and talk to you guys about other tickers. I do in the Discord all the time, all day, every day. But to make videos, that's a lot of time to put in the work, and I just don't have time. I would love to do a once every 2-week video on Tesla, or many other companies, and I will. This channel is going to be around long after AMC. We got entrepreneurship to talk about. I got 15 years of doing that, to knowledge, things that worked, things that didn't work, real estate. I owned duplexes and rental houses. I had 50 acres of land I was developing. I was shopping for apartment complexes, retail strip centers, looking at building a car wash and a mini storage facility, looked at buying or building a mobile home park just to own the land and, cash cow it. There's many things we will be talking about in the future on this channel. This is not an AMC channel. It just happens to be right now what were the most of the questions and concerns, and I happen to own it, and I'd like to see it squeeze. So I'm happy to dedicate the time to answer those questions for you. Look, there's you got grifters and fudsters. You got plants on both sides of this place. Somebody needs to be in the middle and tell it to you straight. And I'm happy to do that until no one wants to talk about it anymore. And then we're going to pivot right to the other stuff, the next thing you want to talk about, or the other things that I want to talk about. Why haven't we heard anything about sports in AMC theaters? That's a good question. Look, Adam, could you please, I'd fucking pay. Could you get a license to show the UFC fights in a theater? How about that? or a boxing match. Why is that so hard? I don't know why it's hard. Try it out. Work something out. I've met Dana. Do I need to go? Do I need to call Dana and ask him? I don't know him that well. I'm just kidding. But I did meet him. Cool dude. I hate paying the money to stream a UFC fight, and every time we go to a restaurant or a bar to watch it, it's always a fiasco. Fucking packed to the gills, can't get service, fights. We were in one place that was so dodgy that my friends literally were in fear of their life because of the other clientele. I said, "Don't worry, and the people were mad too because all the waitresses, they were so angry that the place was understaffed and it was so overcrowded that the waitresses were literally quitting that evening as people were piling in. We ended up getting most of our drinks for free because they were so apologetic. But my friends were in fear for their life and like, don't worry, I've got a pistol hidden in a hip holster, and that made them feel a lot better. But I didn't really have one. But they felt much safer knowing that I said that I did. Are there any AI stocks or companies that I like? That's not a segment that I spend a lot of time looking into, Wedmore. So I'm going to have to go with no right now. But if you got a couple for me to look at, drop them in a comment of any video. That makes the fight better. Yeah. It's ideal. Sometimes we try and find a place where you have reserved seating for the fight, but then those usually you got to pay. So like, what's the point? I'll just fucking pay the streaming and buy it myself. Show up with body armor. Gatsby says, why do some famous YouTubers believe reverse split will remove 90% of naked shorts? I would say go ask them. I don't know. Not something I talk about here. It's not going to eliminate shorts, the reverse split. I don't think it's not going to eliminate 90% of shorts. Like, if you believe they're synthetics, or even if you don't, there are shorts in a reverse split. Everybody's position goes through the same thing. Shorts, yours, the executives, everything gets divided by 10 position wise. All the prices get multiplied by 10. And at the end of the day, everybody is in the exact same spot. So if they're telling you that 90% of the shorts are getting off the hook, you should stop watching that channel because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. There's a lot of math challenged people, and I mean that in the nicest way. Bless their hearts. Bless their hearts. And I hear other people saying the QSIP change is going to force the shorts to cover. No, I don't believe that it will either. One of the most things that I'm scared about with this whole vote and reverse split on AMC is a repeat of Cosmos. If they truly are, as they are telling us on emails and in the proxy, if the vote is at 4 p.m. Central and they're going to push through the DTCC and all the brokers overnight, both a conversion and a reverse split, and then count on ComputerShare to push those out to the DTCC and all the brokers by morning pre-market, I am really concerned that is not going to go smoothly. How about you guys? Who was watching when Cosmos pushed through that emergency overnight stock split? What a fucking fiasco. Half of y'all couldn't trade because the brokers weren't prepared. If there's one thing out of all of this that I'm most worried about, is that people can't trade their shares, and something is happening, whether it's going up like Cosmos did from 20 cents to $27 and half the people couldn't sell. What a fucking ripoff. Or whether it's going down and you decide, look, I'm done with this play, but I can't sell because my broker hasn't turned on trading. I think if there's one thing that we should all be talking about and asking Adam Aaron and AMC about is, how are you going to ensure we don't get fucked by the DTCC and the brokers when you're trying to push through all this shit overnight? I think that's one thing we can all agree on, no matter what side of the equation you're on. I don't see anybody else talking about that. It's called the Cupid number. It's called the cusp. The cusp, the Cupid. No, it's Q-SIP. I know you're teasing. Bringer of Z's. Yeah, you know Texas talk, bringer of Z's. Steven says, because Cosmos was disorganized and unprofessional. Yeah, I mean, maybe, Steven. I know that Cosmos had the meeting with the board of NASDAQ, the hearing board, and NASDAQ basically told them, look, you either reverse split this shit tonight or you are being delisted in the morning. That was step number one. They had a hearing. They thought they were going to get an extension, and NASDAQ said nope. So they then had to convene an emergency board meeting at Cosmos, and I don't think the reverse split had been, like, the number had been decided. So they had to do an emergency meeting, decide on the split, and then get all the paperwork pushed out. Who knows what time that happened? Maybe it was inefficiency, like you said. Maybe AMC already thinks it's a foregone conclusion and they got all the paperwork ready. Maybe it will go smoother. God help us that it does. I do not want to be around to see the nuclear fire if they fuck up. And they is not going to be AMC. It's going to be the brokers like Robinhood fucked up Cosmos. They weren't ready. They wasn't ready. Hallie, I saw you pop in and then you dropped off. So please, Lord, let this go smoothly. The AMC conversion and reverse split, please. Oh, Yuka says Lou calls it the Cupid. I don't believe that, Yuka. Wall Street is his home. He grew up on Wall Street, remember? There's no way he'd get something. Yeah. What? There's a new play? They're changing the ticker symbol? Let me write this down. Okay. CUSIP. Huh? They're changing the ticker to CUSIP. All right. I'll let the family know. Thank you. That's a classic. That's a classic. I grew up on Wall Street. This is my neighborhood. Nobody knows it better than me. I don't know what a fucking CUSIP is. But everybody else they don't know what they're talking about. Buy a hat. Ooh. Get your hats. Get your hats. Gatsby says, why am I worried that they might have some inefficiency? Because what if it's a scenario, just like hypothetical, what if it's a scenario where half the float is locked up because nobody can trade? Like Cosmos, half the people couldn't fucking trade it. And the fucking thing ran up because Robinhood screwed up the price in their system. And there were people sitting on the sidelines that could have made a fucking $100,000, $1 million. and they couldn't trade. Their broker had them locked out. It would be nuclear war on Twitter and YouTube if that happens. If it's pushed through inefficiently and the price runs up and half of you couldn't trade. Oh man, I'm going on vacation. Going on vacation for 2 weeks because I do not want to see the rage, the justified rage, something like that happen. What's up, amigo? Mic check.
Hey, what's up, my friend? Can you hear me okay?
We can't hear you. Check your sound settings. Oh, wait. Maybe we can hear you. Maybe it's because I don't have my
your earbuds on.
In. That would help.
I was like sitting here, I was putting my earbuds on. I was like, that whole game of these two pictures. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Still can't hear. Let me make sure everything's plugged in. Yes.
Hey, chat, how y'all doing? If you
Let me
can
check
hear me,
my settings.
Fix this. There we go.
Can you guys hear him? I think, yeah,
Let me know when you're ready, Tony. Now we can't hear you. There we go.
Audio out. Okay, I got one more setting I need to fix. How about now? Say something. Test 1, 2.
Hey, how's it going, my friend?
All right, I got you now. I had 2 settings that were incorrect.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm actually tonight wearing my Toronto Blue Jays hat in honor of Massimilian because I've been bugging him for a while to dump that Bo Sox hat and go to the Jays hat. And he keeps saying, like, I'm a Jays fan on the weekends. But, so this is kind of a tip to Massimilian. So how you all doing? And how you doing, Tony?
I'm good. I'm seeing that my video's frozen on my side on Restream.
Really?
On Restream, it's frozen.
No, it's not. I see, like, you're fine. I got Restream up in front of me.
Let me... second. That is weird.
You're not frozen. Like right now, you're fine in Restream. That's what I'm not watching on YouTube. I'm watching on Restream.
Yeah, I have a YouTube window up there, and I can see that I'm moving, but on Restream, it's frozen. This fucking software. All right. So let's talk about BBBY. I got it here on the bottom left corner.
I actually brought topics tonight.
Yeah, BBBY in Canada. Let's run through that real quick.
Yeah, so I remember, I was trying to remember if it was when we were kind of drunk off our ass. Okay, I can swear, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. We were drunk off our ass. I can't remember if it was New Year's. No, it wasn't. It was afterwards when BBBY kind of did like that whole nosedive into the sand. And I said, one of the first indicators is they're going to close Canada first. And what was it, like 2 weeks later, I sent you the article. I'm like, here it is. The word's in. So, the latest update is really, they've only announced that they're closing the stores, right? They're not really kind of giving any firm dates or times or anything like that. So they're still going through all the court process and all that in Canada, last I heard. Once they get through that, then they're going to start announcing dates. So we're going to look at roughly, I think the article was 54 BBBY stores, and then 11 BBBY Baby. And this really spoke to what you and I were talking about before, is when you have these like U.S. conglomerates that come up here, they have to have a Canadian entity. And if you read that article, it really kind of reinforces that, because it said right in the article, the Canadian arm could not be supported by the U.S. anymore.
Gotcha.
Right? So
it's
that's
kind of like, it's kind of like when you go to Brazil to do sales, you got to have a factory in Brazil.
Yeah. 100%. Hang on, I'm going to just turn you up just a little bit.
You can't just sell in Brazil. You got to have a fucking factory there.
Yeah. Same in Mexico. I don't know if Mexico has the same. I know they do with property, because I have family that have cottages down there, and they actually have to split the ownership with a resident in order to have property down there. I don't know if it works the same. So anyways, and I guess what I wanted to kind of run through a little bit was kind of like, once the date's announced, if I was guessing right now, and again, I'll be honest, and Tony knows this, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't do TA. I just look at numbers and business flows and report what I see. So, in my mind, if I'm got my regional hat on, right, and I'm looking at the overall business, I would say right now, BBBY in Canada and Bye Bye Baby are what I call in the RGA stage, right? So this is where they're basically now reaching, they've identified kind of their items that they can return back to their manufacturer for credit. So that's probably during this whole thing, what they're starting to do is contacting their vendors and saying, hey, look at, like, I've got, 80,000 Dyson vacuums that I need to return. What are you going to give me back for them? And then they'll say, okay, well, we'll give you this much, after your restock. And the restock in a bankruptcy is a little bit different. It can really range from anywhere from 25 to 35% of the value, right? Because standard usually, like, so, like, let's say for instance, like in my business, right? Again, dumb Canadian sells toilets. I'm talking to American Standard, and I want to send back a bunch of toilets, right? That I just don't need for a project or anything anymore. Well, then what'll happen is they'll just call me up and say, no problem, we'll take them back. We'll give you 20% restock fee, or they'll waive it if you do what we call like a return and purchase, right? So that's basically where I'm returning product that's not really my core product, but and I'm buying product that is my core to offset that. So usually they'll waive the restock. So that's where I think, if I was to speculate that BBBY in Canada is at right now, is starting to contact vendors to get those restocks to see what they can send back. And you're going to probably see about 1 to 4 rounds, actually 5, including the RGA process, right? Potentially 5 rounds. So your first round is going to be RGA. The first is you're going to see the discounts start to come out, and the stores will start posting up in their windows 15 to 20% off. And they'll run that
already seeing it here.
Yeah, and they'll run that for about, I would say maybe a month to 2 months. And then they're going to go into the next round, which is going to be 20 to 30% off. And at this point, this is where you're going to, like, 10 to 20%, or 15 to 20% in Canada really doesn't mean anything, because
doesn't here either.
Well, our sales tax alone is 13%, right? So, you're just, tax off basically. But you'll start to see, I think, momentum in the second round, where you'll see like a 20 to 30%, and that'll run for about a month or so. And then the 40-50 is when you're really going to start to see momentum, which will be the third round. And the fourth round is kind of a what if scenario, right? It's going to be a 60 to 70% discount on what's remaining. Or if they bled off enough of their remaining inventory, then it's just going to go to liquidation, and they're going to close the doors, right? And this is exactly like, remember I was telling you before about the company in Canada that was owned by a Hudson Bay company called Home Outfitters. And it's pretty much going this exact same way in Canada, with BBBY. So we're going to see the same pattern repeat. And I mean, to the Canadian people on this chat, I don't know how many are there, but we'll guess it out. But now's your time to get towels. So, and it's kind of funny because the last time when Home Outfitters went under, I literally restocked on like towels and everything in the house at like a fraction of the price. Because you got to think, like, these towels and everything. Like, honestly, Tony, I don't need to pay $80 for a towel, right? So I waited down, and next thing I know, I'm getting all this stuff at massive discounts. So that's what I kind of see with BBBY. There hasn't been, like I said, once I see an article on the official date, I'll get that over to you. But it's just, to me, it's the first wave. Now, the Bye Bye Baby thing is a bit of an interesting one, and I have some speculation here. I don't know the line too well, because we only have what we call, no, that's a different company. Sorry, we don't have a Bye Bye Baby in the area. That's more like a Toronto, BC or Vancouver, kind of like your greater metropolitan areas. That's why you only see like 11 stores, right? I bet you they take whatever the biggest city is in that province, and that's where the Bye Bye Baby is. But, that one I think might be more interesting in the fact that I don't think you're going to see a run on discounts on that, because, baby supplies, clothes, everything like that is running fast and furious, because now we have all the COVID babies coming through, right? So where I kind of see that going is they're doing the RGA right now, but that product is really just going to come in one door and go back out the other to like a Carter's or another kind of baby outlet, or Babies R Us, because we still, believe it or not, we still have Toys R Us and Babies R Us in Canada.
For folks that are not following retail stocks all the time, tell us again what RGA is.
It's basically a term for saying return authorization credit. What you basically do is you're approaching your manufacturer. So with my company, we're a distributor. So I use American Standard. If I want to send it back, I just call and get an RGA, and that's going to give me the authorization to return it back.
So it's another term for like we're more familiar with RMA.
Yep, it's the same thing. So it's everybody uses different terms. In Canada, it's different. You know, the distributors use RGA, manufacturers use RMA. So
Gotcha.
it's kind of like the same. Everybody has a different term for it. But that's kind of where I see, you know, that path going on. And I wouldn't be surprised. I would probably say, like, according to that article, they're going to move this thing through pretty quick. So I could probably see the signs starting to go up in the next month. You know.
Yeah, there was another BBBY channel that was trying to dig into how all this is going to play out, and I don't want to spend the entire rest of the stream talking about Bed Bath and Beyond, but they were talking about in the upcoming quarters, and I think this is a valid point. You know, there's going to be a lot of hits to the earnings statements for BBBY.
Yeah.
From not only from selling stuff at a massive discount or returning it, like you're saying, but also all the leases that they're going to be breaking and the penalties they're going to have to pay. Like yes, they're trying to throw unnecessary shit overboard and tighten up the income statement and the balance sheet, and they're going to make some money selling convertible stock. But for the next few quarters, I think this is going to be a hot mess.
Yeah, and I mean, here's my perspective, right? Like when you remember we talked about the Lowe's comparison where Lowe's got out of Canada about a month or so ago, sold off their arm. You know, to use a very vulgar term, BBBY closing in Canada is a mouse fart compared to the whole kind of like organization of BBBY. I mean, you're not even probably going to see it on the balance sheet, to be honest with you. Like you're not going to see a big move either way.
Well, I have seen some videos in the U.S. of stores being closed right now, and I'm going to go look at some this weekend. We got a couple in our area, and like half the aisles are blocked off with police tape, do not cross. The shelves are completely empty, and what is left is all getting marked down. Like you said, they're trying to do that, clear out the inventory, the remaining inventory. It's of the stores that are closing. It is very sad for both BBBY investors, the people that believed in it, and the people that are losing their jobs. I'm not making light of any company going bankrupt. I just want to urge caution to people reading Reddit and thinking that it's going to $100 next week.
No. I was listening earlier what you said, and I like that theory that you kind of alluded to. You may see that spike go to $6, and then, you know.
Yeah, if they get an offer for bye-bye, it could spike up.
Yeah.
And I posted in the Discord another company that got a buyout offer, and you can go look at Weber as another example. WEBR. They got a buyout.
People?
Huh?
The barbecue people?
Yes. Okay. They got a buyout, and the stock immediately pegged to. It went from like $6 to $8, and it's been sitting steady at $8 ever since. And there was at one point 60% short interest in that stock.
Yeah.
It's still $8, guys. A buyout does not force the shorts to cover.
Yeah.
And even if they do, they'll take their time because those buyouts take a while to process and get approved, yada, yada, yada. They got plenty of time to get out.
Yeah. And can I jump back on one point?
Yeah.
And you kind of nailed it towards the end of your conversation with BBBY, and then I think we can close with BBBY. You know,
I got one more GameStop thing to talk about next too.
All right. That was the one thing, you know, and you mentioned the employees, and again, in Canada we had a cycle there for a while. Like this was going like crazy. Like we had Home Outfitters, Zellers, all these stores doing the same thing, bleed down. And you know, when you talk about the people that work there, I mean, it is the hardest job for them to show up for every day because you get, you know, complete assholes coming in to say, so what are you going to do after you're done here? Or, you know, like, it's sad that the place is going down. They got to answer all these stupid fucking questions. Right. And I remember I was there once and I literally just wanted to grab this little old lady by the throat and just say, this is a human being, man. Treat her with respect, you know. And that's honestly, that's who gets missed out in a lot of these. You know, everybody here, we look at dollars and cents on a chart and stuff like that, but then there's also the real people down the bottom in it, and it's tough to see that. You know, like, you know, if you do go into those BBBY stores, you know, the one thing I would say is just, you know, be courteous, you know, don't ask a lot of questions, and, you know, be on your way, you know, because some of these people don't have anywhere else to go after this. Mind you, the job market's pretty good still, but.
All right. I appreciate you sharing the info.
Yeah. Oh, I got more topics. I came prepared tonight.
Okay, let me get this GameStop one out of the way real quick, because there are people that are, you know, convinced that GameStop has another squeeze coming, and maybe they do. They also have around 20% short interest, but things that I'm looking at and I do have a position in GameStop. I'm not diamond handing GameStop at this moment. I'm trading it on momentum right now. I'm long and waiting for the next pop-up or for Ryan Cohen's announcement or a great quarter, because the recent 7 or 8 quarters have not been good for GameStop, despite what anyone's telling you on another channel. But, you know, there is hope for GameStop. They have a chance to turn it around. But there was this article that you can find it on Seeking Alpha, which I think is a pretty more fair assessment than some of the overly bullish GameStop channels going through the problems that GameStop has, the fact that it's not profitable. Go listen to the CEO in the last earnings call. For everyone who thinks GameStop's profitable, the CEO, in his own words, tells you on the last call, we are working to get back to profitability. So anyone who's telling you they're profitable right now is just straight up shilling you with misinformation. Go read this article. I'm not to make you bearish on GameStop, but to be fully informed. But the thing that I really want to talk about GameStop is not this article, but the fact that this week is, you know, back in September, I think it was, all the store leaders, they've been cutting back their raises and stuff, and they bonused them some restricted stock units. I think I should have a GameStop expert on here to sort this out with facts, but I think it was around $21,000 over 3 years. And the vesting is, as I understand it, monthly, and it started this week. And I've been keeping up with some GameStop store leaders, and boy, oh boy, they are not very happy, some of them, about the way this bonus is working out. And 5 months ago, there were people making videos saying, this is the best news ever for GameStop store leaders. Maybe it will be. I mean, if the stock ever squeezes, it's going to be fantastic. If it waits 3 years, before it squeezes, these guys are going to be rich if they diamond hand all these RSUs. But I'm seeing a lot of them, you know, they're mad because they didn't get raises. So they're planning, all of them that I'm reading about, they're trying to sell their RSUs every month that they vest. And boy, oh boy, man, when the RSUs were handed out, the stock was at about $28. And right now they've already lost 25% of their bonus because the stock's trading at $21, $22. So already they've been rug pulled 25% of their bonus if they're trying to sell it this week or next week. On top of that, what they're also angry about is they were not properly communicated to that tax, or maybe just some of them didn't listen. That happens. Tax is going to be withheld when your grants show up in your account. So they were expecting 20 shares and they got 12. So not only did the stock get beaten down 25%, now they got another 40% hit from withholding. And boy, you know, these store leaders, people are leaving the company, employees are quitting. It's hard to hire people at really low wages. Some of the stores only have one employee. Store managers are being wiped off the map, and The remaining ones are being given to stores. It's not a fun environment to work in right now. All of that has some design behind it. There's a method to that madness. The company is trying to cut costs to, as the CEO said, or the CFO, whoever said it, to get back to profitability. So what they're doing is necessary, and it's painful, but it's also affecting the troops, the frontline people. So I just present that to you as a counterbalance to the full hopium channels, so that you know the real deal. They're doing what they need to, but it is taking a toll on the workforce in a variety of ways. If I was a manager, if I was a store leader at GameStop and I didn't need to sell my RSUs, I would say just hold them. If you don't need the $200, just hold them and pray for a good quarter. However many months that takes, and wait for the stock to run up, whether that's 3 months or 3 years. That's what I would do if I was a GameStop store leader. But I just see a lot of them, they're trying to sell it. Like they've been counting down the months to dump those shares. So
sorry, Tony. I was just kind of glancing at some. I was able to find some P&Ls, but I'm trying to find the most recent one from GameStop.
I'm going to do another GameStop review and the financials after their next update on earnings.
Yeah.
So,
because I mean, I looked at, one of the scariest things that jumps out to me, like I said, my background, like I said, I am not the stock guy. I read the P&Ls, I read the business flows. And even like the first thing I seen on the one I can find, mind you, all data, it was, year end of 2021. Because I was hoping maybe there was some year end stuff out there or something. But I mean, what concerns me right off the bat is gross profits already down 6%, right? And that was last year's though. I haven't seen this year's. So please, like I said, I was looking at their balance sheet overall. I'm trying to find the 2022. Actually, here I might be able to get this one. Sorry, go on. Unless you've got one up that you can throw on the screen, that'd be great. I'm just doing this on the fly because I'm not in GME, so I have nothing bookmarked for GME. So
yeah, while AMC is, they had a pandemic hit, and you can see on this chart here, GameStop had the same thing. AMC before the pandemic was on a increasing revenue path, and we're trying to recover out of that. GameStop's revenue has been falling since 2016. That's, first of all, the thing that you need to realize. That I feel bad for my friend Richie up in New Jersey. He thinks that GameStop is a great company. The revenues have been falling, just like Bed Bath & Beyond. Yeah, so that's not something to ignore. What you really need to count on if you're in GameStop is a transformation out of this retail environment. Yeah. And then here is a quick chart on the operating cash flow, free cash flow, net income. Net income has also been under pressure. Fundamentally, right now it's still a bit of a mess.
Yeah,
but I think they have a chance. Tony. They have a chance if they transform it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that hurts them a lot, Tony, is when you think about it, the last 2 holidays, they have not had consoles in abundance either, right? I mean, when you think about it, going back, and I got to look at the release date, but I think it's been out for like 2 years now. No, 3 years. The Xbox relaunched their new version, right, of the Xbox One and the S and the X and all that. And then PS5 came out, and then the Switches were out. They really haven't had a steady flow, right? And that's why I'd be really interested to see what Q4 was, because Q4 with Christmas, right? That's when they're going to get their big, run up on console sales.
We hope so. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, the supply has been few and far between. I mean, my buddy, I was lucky enough. I have a really great wife that pre-ordered one for Christmas for me, so I had a Series X sitting there. But my buddy, he waited 2 years before he could finally get his hands on one.
Damn. DevStat says the earnings calls are 5 minutes long. They are short because I think I'm going to be generous and say they don't want to reveal their plans until they're ready to to drop them on the market. And that is why I have a small position in GameStop, on the hope. This is hope, right? The fundamentals of GameStop are not positive, but I have a hope that they will get back to a profitable quarter and announce a transformation out of brick and mortar. So that's why I'm long on GameStop, but I'm not accumulating a large position in it.
What do you think that transformation looks like, Tony?
Out of brick and mortar. They're closing stores, and that's not really hitting the news.
Yeah.
But stores are being closed. It's not being talked about anyways.
Yeah.
And they've got to get into a more digital model. And I don't mean NFTs.
Well, and that was, I think about it this way, right? Is that, for years and years, GameStop's always been like hard, good, tangible product, right? Like you're going in and buying a disc, right? And then when they went to digital, you kind of saw that because it was where the first indicator was. And I'll go back to like my nerdy GameStop days. They weren't really pushing the Xbox Series S because it was a fully digital unit. And then at that point, and this is from a Canadian perspective, right? So take this with a grain of salt. They weren't pushing the digital because they weren't going to be getting the disc sales. And that's what they wanted up at least in Canada anyways, right? Because when you sell the Series X, it comes with a drive on board. Same, I don't know anything about PS5, so if anybody in chat can, tell me if it's got a CD or not in it, that'd be great. But digital really kind of, I don't think they were ready for that, and I don't think they had it all ready to go, and I think that really took a toll on their business.
What other topics did you have that you wanted to talk about?
No, right to the good stuff, eh? I want to bounce. Let me go. You know what? I'll start with the CEO group. I've been watching, things over the last 2 to 3 weeks. Watching your channel, of course. We talked way back when, about the Treys and the Matts of the world and how the narrative last year was, MOAS, when Lambo, trying to get everybody hyped up for the, when we're all going to ride the rocket to the moon together. As I'm seeing the YouTube kind of thing, and you touched on it tonight, and I just want to talk to you a bit more about it. I think this is kind of, now we're starting down a path of new marketing, right? New emotional marketing. And these CEOs, or whatever they call themselves, right? I think they're pushing a new narrative. And the narrative is that, we want to extort the shorts, right? And I think it's becoming a gimmick to get retail just to flow in.
100%.
Yeah, and it's getting ugly. And I don't know if you saw it. What's the guy's name from Genius? Because I don't follow the
Roger Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see on Twitter that he reached out to AA?
Yes. I responded to him and told him to stand down.
I read it, and I actually was going to tag you in it, and I didn't. I thought, I'm not going to do that. But go ahead.
I didn't really say stand down. I said, hey, Roger, I do appreciate what all these guys are doing, but I've talked to one of these companies. I don't talk about this much on Twitter. Because it's not worth it. I mean, no matter what I say, people don't want to hear it. But we've gone through this on this channel on live streams. These companies, they have no short interest.
Yeah,
really.
You do know I was a witness to your shunning on Twitter, right?
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
These companies have no real short interest. They claim they have naked shorts, and maybe they do. They definitely all had at least one day of high FTDs.
Yeah.
But the company that I talked to, and I'm not going to say which one it was, has said that basically the only data they've got from Share Intel is confirming that they had failures to deliver. I'm like, well, we can already see that. So what really what useful information are you getting? We can't talk about that because of the legal process. Going back to what you were saying, I think this is all a smokescreen to rope in retail under a narrative that retail is anxious to lap up.
Yep.
And get behind. And I think everybody is being fucking rope-a-doped.
Yep.
And you saw these stocks are coming back down. You can only keep up the charade for so long. and keep retail in the play. There is no short squeeze that's going to happen in these plays.
Yeah, and I look at it this way, is that, to me, this Roger guy reaching out to Adam Aaron, that was, I think, his attempt to try and get the 8 vote.
100%.
You know, and to me, that's, I mean, the guy, I've watched his videos. He's polished. He is a good, what do they call him, WC Fields. That's exactly what I think. You know, in his old thing, there's a sucker born every minute.
But to be fair, you know, of the group of them, he's made the most progress in fixing his balance sheet. But what nobody's talking about is the cost to retail. You know, the massive dilution, the convertible debt, the warrants. That's happening right under your noses, and only me is pointing it out.
Yeah. I mean, I was catching your talk about CLNB earlier. I actually wrote notes. They're like right here, so I didn't forget, because, you know, I'm fucking old and I got craft. And by the way, craft means I can't remember a fucking thing. So, but I was listening to that, and I was, you know, it was kind of funny and I never even thought anything of it, because I was kind of working on the man cave office tonight. That's why I was a little late getting on. But I didn't think about it at the time until you brought it up. And I remember I was like, I just had YouTube on in the background kind of thing, and I clicked onto a video, and I can't remember what YouTube video it was, basically promoting the stock. And then it didn't really dawn on me until you brought it up, and I looked, and I had you on the background while I was doing this, and I was like thinking, like, where did I hear that before? I'm like, oh yeah, one of those guys earlier today was pumping this up to jump into it or get on board and ride the freight train to the moon.
I said in the Discord a couple days ago, after Roger had his YouTube investor presentation, and he announced the upstream listing of the $10 coupon. This guy is a fucking genius. For several reasons. Number one, recognizing that he could leverage retail's desire to have somebody lead the charge against naked shorts.
Yeah.
Whether or not he has any is irrelevant. He's leveraging people's desire, that hopium, just give us a leader. He's leveraging that. And then he created the 6-point plan to attack naked shorts. Look, it's going to be years before you hear anything from West Christian on these companies, you know, any results of a lawsuit. Years. In the meantime, as people drive the price up, his big institutions are unloading convertible debt to retail. The institutions are making a profit, and Roger's balance sheet is being cleaned up on the back of retail, which is fine, you know, as long as you realize that. As long as you realize you're being diluted. But his upstream listing was just sheer genius. Hat tip to Roger James Hamilton. You know, giving people a useless digital dividend, which is not going to cause shorts to cover, telling them that it will. It's a $10 coupon for products at his company. So he's leveraging his investor base to become customers. I mean, it's sheer fucking genius. Yeah.
And it's kind of like marketing 2.0, like I'll call it the YouTube marketing plan 2.0, right?
I mean, of all of them, he's got a fucking shot of fixing his company, because he is a smart guy. Yeah.
He, like I said, he seems polished and whatnot, and I've listened to the calls. The thing is, I can't get it in my head, man, is when I look at him, I just picture a snake oil salesman.
Well, I mean, he has a history of being, you can find the articles, you know, there's fraud and scam alerts on him. And I don't want to trash his reputation by going into that, because that's not what my channel is about. But maybe it's just disgruntled people. Look, everybody has haters.
Yeah.
But I haven't even delved into it in real, like I've not looked into him. Yeah. I'm just looking at what he has right now. And I see what he needs to do. I see he's doing it. He's got a shot of fixing his company. So if all these hellbiz created genius, the half dozen of them, if you want one, GNS is probably the one to that is ahead of the game.
I would keep my stop loss so tight on that account. Because to your point, right, the rug pull would be just, I don't know. I just look at it, I think we're in a dangerous ground again. And I think this is, hopefully, I mean, the majority of the people, I know everybody in the chat that listens to your channel, I think they're fairly intelligent and they'll figure it out. But there's a lot of people out there aren't going to figure it out. And
Oh yeah, and the ones that don't want to hear it call me a shill or a troll. No, look, guys, I'm going to give props to Jeremy Frommer for being honest about upstream. I'm gonna hat tip Roger for ingeniously leveraging his investors to become customers. I'll tell you when they're doing something good, but I'm also not going to fall for the smokescreen of they're addressing naked shorts. If they do, I will humbly apologize and say I was wrong. But right now I'm calling it, just like every CEO. Don't trust a single one of them. Every CEO, no exceptions.
Yeah.
We got to stop putting these people on pedestals. They have one job, and that is to improve their company, save their company, improve balance sheets.
Yeah.
Adam Aaron should have never been put on a pedestal. Ryan Cohen rug pulled people on BBBY because they believed in them. Don't fucking believe in these people. None of them. Not one of them. You got to understand what their job is, and you're either on board with that or you're not.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Their job is not to deliver you a MOAS. None of them.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you what you need to hear to keep you involved in the play.
Yep. And that's the sad part, Tony. Like, I feel for like YouTubers such as yourself. And again, I'm not giving you too much praise, but people that wander into your channel, and members that are here, you're spending a lot of time, undoing all the crap that, this has been sold for the last, 2 years. Right.
And I've only scratched the surface of undoing all the crap that's been told for the last 2 years. Because I mean, if I get really into the meat of it, people are going to hate me even more than they do now. There's so much fucking crap.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I've seen your Twitter shunning already.
What are you going to do?
So, and it was live, by the way, which is, I mean, I'm not going to go into the details of the channel, but it was kind of funny. Tony.
Was it recent? Was it recent or months ago?
This was the one, I'll say the
Just tell me the time frame.
No, it was the one, the BAM call.
Oh yeah. And they wouldn't even let me speak on their space call.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because, to give you some context, chat, I don't want to go to the topic and all that. That's not part of the point here. But so Tony and I were kind of texting each other like on Discord, and I was in the same space call. We were just kind of shooting the breeze, and then Tony's like, "Yeah, maybe what do you think? Should I go on?" I'm like, "Yeah, do it. Yeah, be that guy." Right. So Tony's like, "All right, I'm in." So he gets in line,
and as a setup, I was not going in there to start shit. I thought it was actually a well-run space call. I just had a honest question.
It was actually a question you and I think I asked you, and you said, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, and again, this is where I always defer to Tony, guys. And I mean, I don't claim to be any kind of third market genius. I have these stupid theories in my head, and then I call Tony, or I'll DM him on Discord and say, "Hey, this is what's like going through my head," and Tony will say, "Hey, that's a good idea," or "You're dumb as shit. Rethink things." Right? No, he doesn't do that. I'm just kidding you. But so I mean, like, we had the kind of same conversation. That's where I was kind of urging you to go on, and then it was funny because you went up for speaker, and then we waited, and I remember getting a text like, "How long does it take to get a speaker?" I'm like, "I don't know. I was on an MMTLP call, and it was like 45 minutes before they let me say a word." And then Tony finally got up, and they're like, "What's your name?" I'm not. It's Tony Denaro. "What's your real name?" Well, my friends call me Tony Denaro.
No, he didn't even ask twice.
Yeah.
He's like, "That's not your real name." Click, and booted me out of the call. I was like, wow.
And at that point, you and I were listening for like probably T plus an hour kind of thing, right? And he never asked anybody else that.
Exactly. All of a sudden, that became a criteria to be able to ask a question on a space call. Like these guys were They knew exactly that I was going to ask them a question that would be inconvenient for them to answer because it goes against the entire shill troll. What's the word? You know, the whole story they're trying to write. I might ask them a question that they would need to answer that wouldn't fit their own narrative. It's easier just to boot me off the call, make me wait an hour, hope I go away, and then when I come up, boot me off the call.
Yeah.
Like I'm some name, you know, some person that nobody knows in this community.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to speak on our call unless you say your real name.
Yeah.
All right. You know, after you've been doxxed and had your entire family's history put online and photos of your house. No, there's a reason. Because some of y'all are fucking crazy.
Yep.
But
the sure side was funny was when you text me though that night and you're like, is the call still going? I'm like, yeah, what happened to you? You're like quiet.
There were literally like 40 people that on that call before me that weren't asked their name. Like, this is how scared these guys are of me, of sharing facts with you guys.
Yeah. You think they give you a torch ceremony or nothing? They just showed you the door. Is that Denaro? Yeah, get him the fuck out of here. He's done. So
yeah, it was BAM Investor. That kicked me off. Like I actually thought that guy was a fair player, but guys, look, if that dude was being, he's in cahoots with all these trolls and the anti-Adam Aaron people. Now I realize that. I didn't realize that then. This is not a man to be trusted.
No.
If he won't let me ask a question. I'm not some unknown person in this community.
Yeah. Tony Denaro, YouTuber, actor.
Bunch of charlatans, these guys. And why are, they are really scared of me. They can't answer any due diligence or facts. So the only thing that they have to resort to is personal attacks. When someone's doing ad hominem attacks, you already know that they're back on their heels because they're pushing FUD, lies, nonsense, and fear. And they don't want to talk to someone like me. Every single one of them have me blocked because truth is inconvenient to them.
And the one thing with Bam, he was a bit of a different cat too. I remember when he just popped out of nowhere. It was what's the other guy? I can't remember off the top of my head. Matt Kors had him on a while ago, and I think this guy reached out to Adam Aaron, and I can't for the life of me remember. It's the guy with the beard and the receding hairline, right? It's not Mark Cahotis, it's somebody else. I don't know, come to me. Anyways, it was about the time when the two of them surfaced, and I think Bam and this guy were trying to like be the leaders, and I think Bam was kind of trying to come everything from a behavioral analysis point of view.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember those videos or not, but it was
funny. Yeah. I mean, I've seen I've never interacted with him ever. I've never talked bad about him. I'd let him do his thing.
No.
And whether his behavioral model works or not, I mean, that's up for the viewer to decide. That's none of my business.
Come on now. We got to be honest here. 100% honesty on the channel. You got to interact him once. You got to say hi, and then you were showing the door.
I was the next words I was actually saying, hey guys, I really appreciate this call. And at the moment I'm speaking that sentence, I realized I had already been booted. He didn't even get to hear my compliment.
Yep. No, it was comical, but yeah. So I mean, this is the thing I want to kind of keep my eye on because I've seen this. It started out as a little kind of like flicker of light, and I think now it's turning into a roaring bonfire. But you know what? I'm going to shut up for a minute because I am going to go because I am at a bourbon.
All right.
I'm going to be back. I'm not going to leave because I have another topic I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
Unless you want me to get lost.
No, I'm gonna. If you're gonna go off camera for a minute.
Yeah. So I'll just turn my mic and cam off and then go.
All right. I'm gonna take you out of the stream, but you're still in the back room, so just wave at me. I can still see you, but the audience won't see you.
All right.
I see a couple of y'all putting in the comments that Ham Short Killer. I know who he is. The GTII pumper. Came up with the points, not Roger. So I'll give credit to him for that. I did not know that. I see his tweets every now and then, but I don't read religiously everything that he says. So credit to Ham Short Killer for coming up with all the points. The naked short busting strategy. And look, I think that strategy, it's a worthwhile one to try. Don't take anything I'm saying in this live stream as trying to undercut these people and the efforts they're doing. I pray for all of us in retail that one of them unearths something earth-shattering for all of us. That would be fantastic. I just based on the data and the evidence that I'm seeing, I think that you're being fed a little bit of hopium. That's all. And I'm not scared to say that. I know everybody hates me already. What's a few more? What's a few more? All right. Hallie, when you're ready to come back in, just wave so I catch it out of the corner of my eye. Canuck Trade says, if AMC is a no vote, what do you think happens with Ape? He will file paperwork with the Secretary of State in Delaware to create a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4 billion more Ape, and he will continue selling them for whatever the market will bear, which we know recently was 65 cents. So that's what I think will happen with Ape. You'll get a bunch more of them, and they'll be sold really cheap. And that is from a dilution standpoint for us as AMC shareholders, that is not a great deal. Yeah, I put up earlier in the stream, I put up Roger's bonus. He got, I think it was around 10 or 11 million shares, which is, it's pretty high compared to the float or outstanding shares. But Blood War says Ham is all talk. Yeah, I don't want to go into Ham, but I don't disagree. Right now, I think there's been a lot of confusion about Ape. Adam Aaron created 1 billion of them. He's got 40 million preferred shares left that were not. I've seen people still saying he's got 5 billion Ape. No, he does not. It was 1 billion. He has the potential to create 4 billion more, but he's got to go file paperwork creating the shares, authorizing them as these Ape units with the Secretary of State of Delaware. So if the vote is a no, he's just going to create more and sell them to somebody else, Antara, whoever, and get enough yes votes to push this through. So I heard someone on Twitter or YouTube say that, like, you guys realize by voting no, you're just delaying the inevitable by a few weeks. You do realize that, right? He will sell someone else 500,000 Ape in a private offering, and you are fucked in 3 weeks. Don't think he won't. DevStat, you forgot to end that with you got to end with the famous quote, "I'm going dark. I'm going dark. Things are about to pop off. I'm going dark." If y'all follow Bam on Twitter, you'll understand what I mean. And I got nothing against the dude, but that was kind of a weak sauce dickhead move, kicking me off of a space call when I've never interacted with him. I mean, clearly that was a setup, and clearly he's in bed with all the anti-AMC, anti-Adam Aaron crowd. Sounds like he's oh Lordy. All right, I'm going to give Hallie a couple more minutes. I don't want to be on man, my restream is really messing up. I couldn't even, just like it looks like I'm locked up in my restream. And when you were in the back room, you're locked up in there too. I can see you moving on my live now, but
well, I had to go
restream's acting buggy tonight.
I had to go to the West Wing to reload.
The West Wing. You got one of those.
That reminds me. We didn't talk booze tonight, right? And that's usually, one of our topics of conversation is, remember at New Year's Eve, I didn't have my cam on. This is the bottle. It's called the Burning Chair. And I just ran out. That one's a really nice bourbon if you can get your hands on that. I'll take a picture.
Burning Chair. I think I can remember that one. And the other one, I told you guys to test me. The other bourbon, I still remember. It's called High West. Burning Chair, I can remember that because, the chair is famous on this channel as a catalyst. And look, guys, if nothing happens February 28th after the earnings and March 14th after the reverse split, I just want you to remember my birthday was the last real run of AMC at the end of March. And that is right around the corner.
Look at you already.
You never know. You never know.
You're just trying to get birthday presents. I can see this coming right now.
No. Legit AMC ran on my birthday last year. Angelina, what is it about GEO that you want me to look at? I got the chart up. Noble Financial reaffirms their buy rating on GEO with a price target of $15. It's currently trading at $9.54. It took a nosedive from $12. They had earnings 3 days ago, and then the stock fell, so I'm assuming the earnings weren't good. So, Angelina, I got it up. Oh, that sounded bad. Angelina, I have the chart up. Let me know what it is you want me to see.
And actually, I want to address chat for a sec, Tony, if you'll allow me.
Yeah.
I saw this a couple times, a couple questions in your chat. Guys, I don't have a channel. I'll be honest, I'm just dedicated to Tony's channel. I dip in every once in a while and just, act like a jackass, and Tony keeps me in line.
He is in the Discord though, if you want to come ask him questions about retail.
I'm a business perspective. I am, like I said, I will reiterate this. I am not a TA. I am not a MACD 1348. I don't get into all that. I know the basics. I keep that to myself because I don't want to give everybody else advice. Business advice, I can tell you all day. I can tell you if you want to sit down and even message me and say, hey, how do I read this P&L? No problem. I'll sit down and talk to you about that all day. But, like I said, I'm dedicated to Tony's channel. We don't have an exclusive contract. I just feel, and here's my thoughts, Tony, and this is going back to my old days, like when, I was kind of like the second chair to somebody else, is if I go and open a channel, I'm doing Tony and this community a disservice because now I'm splitting the group, right? And I mean, I'd rather support, my friend from the South. I guess I can call you my friend now, right? We're past acquaintances, right? But yeah, guys, to answer your question, I don't have a channel. I don't plan on having a channel. I'll jump in here every once in a while because this is good for me, right? So I appreciate it, guys. And also, I know I'm gonna get in trouble, so I gotta give a shout out to Angelina. Hello, good to see you. You've always been nice to me in the chat, so she's always been great. So I want to make sure I shout her out.
All right. Angelina wants to know if Geo is worth getting into because Michael Burry is getting into it. I see that headline. Michael Burry's portfolio is in these 4 stocks. Angelina, I check with me tomorrow. I'll put a post on the community tab. I know nothing about this company, and I can't do a proper deep dive. It's going to take me more than a minute, and nobody wants to see me go through financial statements and read 12 months of press releases and corporate communications. So I will do that this weekend. I said tomorrow, but this weekend at some point, and post some thoughts in the community tab or talk about it on the next live stream. There'll be more videos and live streams this weekend. We got 3 days off from the markets. And so I have some other things that I want to talk to you guys about. Feel free to drop me a comment on my community tab. I asked you guys for ideas, or you can comment in the comments of this live stream when we're done. And we're getting close to being done because it's after midnight here. And I don't want to be going till 2 o'clock in the morning.
I have one more topic, Tony.
All right.
Going back to AMC. So a couple things, and I'll look at this from a Canadian perspective. First off, the votes are out if you are a Scotia iTrade member. So they came out today. So I don't know if anybody in here is Scotia iTrade. Check your emails. You will get 2 emails, one for your APE and one for your AMC. It'll be the same thing. So make sure you check your emails, check your junk, everything, to make sure that they're there. The second thing is, if you are in a Scotia iTrade, contact your broker, because remember, Tony, you and I were talking about this a while ago. I think it was about like November, just via Discord. That remember I told you, I said, my book value, they kind of changed. So what they did is they took my value of my APE and put it down to what was actually in the AK was a par value of 0.01. It only took, God bless you, Scotia iTrade. It only took you 4 months to do it, because day one they had it at like $7 or something like that. And then 4 months later, magically, my wife and I were looking at our account saying, "Fuck, we're rich," right? So what I would recommend is to people, especially like I said in the Canadian area, contact your brokers. Make sure your book values are correct on your APE and your AMC, as well as your average price. I am going to be sending an email, because even on my account, Tony, it's really weird. And I'll use my APE as an example. My book value is...
By book value, you mean cost basis, right?
Yeah, like what my total book value of my shares are, right, is one value. And if you look at that value, that is what my earnings are being measured off of, not off my dollar per average, or my average dollar amount. My average dollar amount is still $4, when really my average is $1.78 off my book value. So I'm going to be emailing my broker to say, hey, look, you need to clean this shit up, right? Because go ahead.
I'm gonna add, what I always say in the Discord when we talk about this, or on the live streams. I understand your viewpoint, and everybody's got to, you do whatever you think is easiest for you. But at the end of the day, whatever your broker is showing for your cost basis is irrelevant. That's a placeholder for you to look at on your portfolio screen as a reminder if you're up on a play or down. And it is confusing when they split AMC and APE. Some brokers like yours are saying the APE cost basis is a penny, and some are splitting it 60-40%. It's just a placeholder, guys. You know how much you spent on your shares. You know how many shares you have. You can do the math. You've got all the buy tickets. None of it matters until you go to sell and then take that paperwork to your accountant. Yeah. And that's between you and the IRS. What your broker shows is 100% irrelevant.
Yep.
But if it makes you feel better for one to show a penny, or for them to be split equal or 60-40, and you're not happy with it, contact your broker.
Yep. The other thing I want to talk about with AMC too, and you brought this up the other night, and I don't know if you saw it in the chat or not, but I know everybody had this big hoopla about preferred seating and these new prices, right? And I'm like, nobody ever complains about everything else. And I was surprised you know, even what was it, the actor Elijah Wood, you know, came out and said, oh, you know, all this is crap and blah 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 blah. I mean, I'm going to take, you know, lessons from an actor that, you know, like I said, your acting skills are a lot better than his, bud. Sorry. But you know, I was trying to give you kind of a comparison, right? And I'm going to use like baseball as my reference, or even hockey, right? In Canada. So Toronto Blue Jays, right? That's our home team up here. New York Yankees come to town. You're paying a premium dollar to go to that game. So I like to sit on third base line. There's like a sweet spot right in between third base and left field, right? You can get seats for usually $60 on a cheap, if the Baltimore Orioles came to town, right? You know, they're considered like a lower tier team. That seat's like $60 all day. Yankees come to town, that seat's $100, right? Adam Aaron's doing no different than what they do with NFL, what they do with MLB, you know, NHL, anything like that. It's same with even concerts, right? You get a top tier guy coming to town. You know, like I went and saw Metallica. Here's a great example. I went and saw Metallica. I had floor seats at the Rogers Center. I was like, I could probably high five James Hetfield. I was that close to him because it was general admission. I paid $300 for that ticket, right? If somebody else comes to town that's not Metallica, that's not that tier one kind of band, you're paying $150 and the same seat, right? It's just a fact of life, and that's what kind of got me a little irked, because all these YouTubers and all these people were coming out of the woodwork like, Adam Aaron's an asshole because he's like charging like elevated seat prices.
Wait, YouTubers were talking against that?
Oh God, no, Tony, come now.
I'm serious. Who was talking against that?
Oh, I don't. You know, I can't name names on this channel. That's just not.
All right. Well, message me after.
I will.
I mean,
but you get my point. It's just a fact of life. It happens in everything. You know,
like, why would you not want your management team to experiment with potential incremental income?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
If he can test it out and get away with it, you should be happy for that.
Yeah. We had this, again, I'm so jealous of you guys because I listen to the stories of when you go to an AMC and you got little trays. And this is the other thing. You were talking about an AMC experience the other night. And I was like, I don't know if you saw my chat, but I was like, not in Canada. They round us up. You get your food from the trough and then you go get herded into a square room, right? Like, there's no, if you guys are got bars and all this other stuff, I'm like, why can't I have that? You know, like, why can't I watch a movie half lit? But it was funny. They just introduced this new, and you guys probably had this for 10 years, but you know, in Canada it's new. But these new seats that actually move to whatever's happening on the screen, like Top Gun would be like an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, like a 4D seat.
Yeah. My wife doesn't like it when I sit beside her where the button controls are because I keep hitting the button to move the chair. But that's another story for another day. But you pay a price for that extra seat. And this is where I'm kind of bringing this all home, right? Is, you know, everybody wants to get to the theater to get that middle seat halfway up, right? That's a premium seat. And Adam Aaron is in his full right to make that decision. And as us as shareholders, to your point, you know, you're increasing revenues by trying something new, which is already being done everywhere else. Right? Like, what's the problem with that?
If anyone is talking down to that is invested in this stock, I'm going to call you an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, you obviously are not pulling for this company to generate incremental revenue. If you're talking down to that, let them fucking try it out in their 3 theaters. They're testing it in 3 theaters. And someone posted the seating for Ant-Man in Chicago that has the premium sight line. Guess which seats were full? All of the middle ones at the premium price.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You should be happy for that.
Yep.
And if you, if you don't want to pay $2 more, sit on the edge of the row or buy a A-list membership. And then your tickets are free anyways, because you get 3 free movies per week for a nominal charge.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Boy.
So, I mean, that just annoyed the piss out of me. Like, you know, I don't want to spread hopium, but something's going to happen. And this is kind of my other point. We have the announcement of earnings coming up. It's on a Tuesday. Tony, you and I are, you know, old enough to know that if you're reporting earnings on a Tuesday, that means things are good, right? Because you're not going to report something bad on a Monday, Tuesday because your stock's going to have 4 to 5 days of getting beat on, right? You're going to report on a Friday if it's bad, or Thursday, Friday, because then, one day and then you're into the weekend and everybody forgets by Monday, right? Sorry, you said you had a question come up. You might as well go ahead and answer that. I'll shut up for a second.
No, someone said, will I give a discount on Discord? The Discord's free. It's free to people that are members of the channel, though. And I think, $5 a month is pretty reasonable to be in a Discord with grownups that, we're not spending our time decoding tweets and pumping the latest Reddit theories on my Discord. We're actually talking about real investing, real business, real entrepreneurship, crypto, multitude of plays, day trades, pre-market. As soon as I wake up, I'm posting what the potential plays of the day are. I mean, if 25 cents a day, after AMC has it squeezed, the price will be going up. I'm keeping it reasonable right now just because, look, you should be putting your money into buying stocks right now, not wasting money on a Discord. I see people have $50, $95 prices. Hey, I mean, if you're getting value out of it, that's fine. Yeah. But I am just trying to create a community of people that, want a home that is fact-based. That's it.
And it's honestly, folks, it's a good community. Tony's really done a good job. And, and this is Tony, I wanted to kind of hit chat again with one other thing. I saw a couple of people were thanking Tony, you and I for our time. Guys, I wouldn't even be on here if it wasn't for the man up, you're above me, so I'm pointing up. Okay. So, but, like I said, it's a good group of people. I enjoy it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's the only one I ever subscribed to. And Tony actually made me break my rule. I always said I'd never subscribe to these guys. And then
I appreciate
you're just so goddamn charming, Tony. I couldn't resist.
I'm far from charming, trust me, but I am fun once I've had a beer or two.
Well, let's not, just go back and watch the New Year's video with you and I getting plowed.
I have my moments.
I couldn't even believe I made it through that night because I didn't have COVID. I had that other thing, RNA or something. And Jen went to the in-laws in the Maritimes. And I was kind of the downside of it. And, Tony's on New Year's Eve. I'm like, great, I'll just go and hang out here. And then I ended up getting plowed with Tony on New Year's. So it was fun, though. I had a great time. And what was that Irish guy from overseas? He's cool. I really like him.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's still working on his speech. Told him to come up with a speech before he comes back on.
Yeah. What's the guy from Boss Blunts? Because you're like, you could be that guy for me. I need you to be that guy.
Wolfie. I forgot, as I was getting ready for tonight's live stream, I forgot that on Fridays, we're going to do the beer tasting, like the oatmeal stout one we did last week, which that video will be back up. If you missed that one, I think it was pretty good. I got pretty hammered by the end of that night. So that video will be back up this weekend. There's a couple. I might have said something bad about somebody. That
I just watched you drink that one beer, and I think I even mentioned in the chat
the peanut butter stout.
I don't know, but I just remember seeing. I was like, that beer looks painful, like painful.
It was horrible, but I think it probably some good entertainment. I need to mute a couple seconds where I was not kind to someone. So I'll fix that and get that video back up for your enjoyment and watch me get drunk. And we'll do some more of those. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll do something easy on Sunday night. Something that you don't need to go on a hunting shopping trip to go find the stuff.
So shot nights with Fireball. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, we could do a shot night. We could do, I'll make it easy. We could do American beer night or Mexican beer night, Modelo versus Corona versus Tecate.
Let's create an international incident, have an American beer versus Molson Canadian.
There's so many opportunities for different tastings.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we'll get one. I'll get one. I'll decide on the theme in the morning and get that up, and probably do that Sunday night.
Perfect.
Wine tasting. We're going to do a wine tasting also. Yes.
Nice. All right. Hey, I'm going to let you just wrap up with chat because I think I've monopolized enough of everybody's time.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Thanks for updating the folks about Bed Bath & Beyond in Canada. And you said you're in Toronto, right?
Just north of Toronto, but you can say Toronto. It's fine.
All right.
So guys, thanks for allowing me to be a guest in your home, Tony. And have a good night, chat. And Angelina, bye.
We will see you in the Discord. Have a good night.
See you, buddy.
All right, guys. I would stay on with you for a couple more hours, but I got to be up early in the morning for work. Yes, being your own boss, you don't always get to pick your hours. Sometimes you got shit to do. And it's going to be, I've got a little bit of work I need to do tomorrow. I've got some more videos I'm going to be working on for you guys. We got some more live streams coming up to continue to answer questions and swat down some troll and shill comments. We didn't get too many of them in tonight. I had the chat. They had to be subscribed to the channel for an hour, so I just didn't really want to deal with a bunch of haters tonight. But tomorrow we'll open it up and have some fun with them. Get some torches, boot some bitches. And I don't mean that, we're gonna boot some trolls tomorrow, and tomorrow or Sunday we'll do a tasting on Sunday night. Let's make that happen. I'm going to talk to the wife and see if I can. She's 2 weeks now behind on her commitment to come spend the evening with us, so I'll work on that. And yeah, drop me questions or topics if you have any that you need me to talk about in videos. Drop them on my community tab or in the comments for this video when we're done. Thank you to everyone watching tonight. Whether you agree or disagree with me on shit, that's cool. Whether you're voting no or yes, that's cool. I will always be your friend. I'm never going to hate you. But if you are the type of person, whether you're in the chat or you're a content creator that is creating drama, doing ad hominem personal attacks, and then unfortunately this is not a home for you, and you won't be welcome here. You'll be blocked and booted. I do that to respect myself and my audience, because at the end of the day, guys, we all have one goal, which is to make money in whatever play you're in. And there are a ton of them out there that we talk about and that everybody's interested in. I want to help you be successful, and I want to develop a community of positive people that are here for the same reason. So thank you for all of your support. Thank you for your time tonight. Love you guys more than you know. And we will see you on the next one. Enjoy your 3-day weekend. Get out and do something fun. Spend time with your family, and come back and hang out with us in the evenings. And I'll see you on the next one.